Welcome to Rant on Reels. I'm Michael Fooch.
And I'm Xavier Barnett.
Today on the podcast, we do deep dives into Shaft, Child's Play, and Toy Story 4, as well as do some trivia.
It's trivia time, baby.
Xavier will be asking me some questions. I'm very excited for it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I got to be honest. I'm really excited to podcast today.
Really? I'm excited to podcast with you, too.
I didn't say I was excited to podcast with you. I said I was excited to
Okay,
podcast
so it's
today.
going to be like that. Okay, so you're going to be like that? All right.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is how the day is going to start off. Okay.
No, I'm excited. Like I feel like we saw 3 really good movies this week, and I'm
Wow,
excited to
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. That's fair, but
They don't know if it's good or not.
I'm telling them it's going to be good. They're not. We're not giving any major spoilers. Just telling them that I thought they were 3 really good movies. I was impressed.
Yeah, I think this is the first week we had 3 good movies.
First week in a while, at least.
Yeah.
Like 3 good movies.
Yeah, not genuinely good. Not like, we'll just allow it to be good for...
Yeah, it's been
You're
like
looking at
5
it
bad
in a
weeks
way.
of like when January rolls around, it's like 5 exact bad weeks, and then in February it's like you got something that's semi good. And you're like, oh my god, it's so good, but really
Yeah.
it's not. It's just we've been dying for a good movie.
Yeah, we just see crap, dead movie month, January.
It's true. You want to tell everyone?
Everyone about what? About our likes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. If everybody listening, please like us. What are we on?
We are on iTunes.
iTunes,
We are on Instagram.
Instagram,
We're on YouTube.
YouTube,
We're on Apple.
Apple Podcasts, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at you. You're learning your technology, passing the test. I
You
like
know,
that.
Can I tell you something?
What?
I have not been on Instagram in probably a month and a half, 2 months.
Oh, my God.
And I've got notifications that like 18 people have added me. I don't understand why. I posted 1 bloody picture.
Yeah, you need
Why
to
are
post
people
a lot
adding
more.
me? No, because I'm telling them to add me.
That's
Yes,
true.
everyone, please add me to Instagram at Michael Fooch. I will not ever be on it.
Yeah, we're also on SoundCloud. So if you get tired of listening to all the SoundCloud rappers, come listen to our podcast.
All right. How's your week, Xavier?
It's been really good. Been catching up on a couple of series. One series is called Attack on Titan. It's a very popular anime. Got all caught up with that. Finished off the 3rd season of Young Justice. And now and watching a couple of movies. So, it's been a lot of entertainment, absorbing a lot of entertainment from the media. And no tinfoil hats today.
You lost me at Titan.
Titan?
Yeah.
Attack on Titan, yeah.
No. You lost me at the word Titan.
Oh, okay.
Because when you said the word Titan, I immediately thought of Avengers: Infinity War.
Oh,
Thanos' home planet is Titan,
yeah.
and it
that's-
just reminds me of the big news of the week.
Oh, the big news. What's
That-
the big news?
Well, I think Avengers Endgame is like 38 million away from Avatar, so it would catch it anyway at this point. Like, it's just a matter of does it do it this week, does it do it next week? But Disney's taking no chances. They are re-releasing Endgame with bonus features, I think next week or this week.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I know
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. I know it's gonna have an end credit too.
Now, are you excited for this?
I guess it gives me a 3rd reason to watch it for a 3rd time. I wanted to rewatch it at least one more time. So
I want to watch it again. I've only seen it 5 times, and I feel like
Yeah.
it needs to be one more
yeah,
to complete the 6 vector.
so I feel like
6 vecta, whatever it's called.
I got to do the trifecta. So
Can I tell you something that ekes me about this though?
what?
I'm all for Avengers Endgame being re-released, but I have got a little beef with it.
What's your beef?
My beef is if you're gonna re-release it with an extra hour of footage. Give me let's Lord of the Rings this. All of the Lord of the Rings were re-released with like what extended editions that were like 4 hours in length, right?
Yeah.
So why can't we get this from Endgame? It's good and it's better than the Lord of the Rings movies, so why not give us an extra hour? There's enough material that I want to know in that extra hour. I could even see I can even accept the final fight sequence to be 20 minutes longer.
Oh yeah, make the final fight scene longer. More giant man punching things in the face.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see
Are-
where you. I can see where you're coming with that. They'll probably release a super full version come DVD time, like the director's cut.
But why can't I get that come to theaters?
I don't know.
Would you not? Honest question, Xavier. It's actually a two-part question. Part one: would you go see a 4-hour Endgame?
If I had the time, yeah. Why not?
How many movies have you seen this year in theaters?
I don't know. I don't even.
Would you say up? If I give you 20, would you go over or under?
Probably over.
So we are in June, not even halfway through the year yet. You've already seen 20 movies. You tell me you can't find 4 hours to go see a 4-hour Endgame?
Yeah, that's different. That's 2 movies that sitting down full.
So you've never doubled up and saw 2 movies in the same day.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
Have you done
when
it
I had the time.
Have you done it this year?
I don't think I've done it yet.
Yeah, you have,
year.
because I was with you when we were doing one for the podcast.
Okay.
This is a complete setup, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
Yeah.
And the second part of this question, because the answer for you is yes, you would, is do you think that people would be up for a 4-hour Endgame?
I don't know. A lot of people were upset that it was 3 hours.
I think that the masses would not be completely in favor, but we're talking like the target audience of these movies would eat it up.
Yeah.
Just like Lord of the Rings. They released the extended editions into theaters, and Lord of the Rings is way more off color than superheroes are.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're going with this. This could work. I think, well, it's going to work. What am I saying? It could work. It probably will work, and we'll get more Endgame, and then...
You can never have enough Endgame. Did you say this is the best movie ever made on this podcast?
Yeah, this is the best
I believe
movie
everyone can go back to the last week of April edition and see Xavier say best movie ever.
Yeah, but I just want to move forward, not go backwards. I want new Avengers stuff.
It can never be
Marvel
they
stuff.
can't make you can't make a movie better than Infinity War and Endgame. I'm sorry, it can't happen.
Yeah, well, that's okay. Because as long as we get more, baby, just more good movies.
Just think, we are less than 2 weeks away from Spider-Man.
Less than 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like
Comes
a
out
week
on
and
the
2 days. I
Tuesday,
think it's a
yeah.
week, so 9 days away. All right, any other news that you want to talk about?
Let's see. Space Jam 2 got their basketball player cast.
Who's in the cast? We know LeBron James is the
LeBron James
star.
is the lead.
So
Tell
who
me
are the
if you
people
know
who are
these
losing?
players.
Who is losing their powers or their basketball skills?
Damian Leonard.
Lillard,
Sorry, I could say Leonard.
Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Leonard, you're thinking of the great and godly Kawhi Leonard, who plays for the
Yeah.
Toronto Raptors. But I guess he was too busy to be in this movie.
Well,
Too
he
busy
just-
winning Larry O.B. trophies.
Yeah, that's probably.
Larry O.B.
We got Klay Thompson
He has a lot of time to
Yeah.
kill these for the next year.
and Anthony Davis.
He's going to be busy butting heads with LeBron. I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense. 2 Lakers going up
Yeah,
against each
2
other.
Lakers, and then we have Diana Taurasi.
I'm assuming WNBA.
Yep. And I'm gonna. Sorry if I ruined this name, but Nukaku Ugwu-Mike.
Is that another WNBA player?
Yes.
This is interesting. Why do you think they're going with a mixture? Like in the first movie, they literally went to a basketball game and took players from the 2 teams that were playing.
Yeah. Maybe just to include more. I guess this is more like a political move.
Well, we've talked about this a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
But it depends how they do it, right? If they're
Yeah.
at like some kind of exhibition where it's like WNBA and NBA players
It'll
together
probably be like an all-star weekend where I'm thinking they'd steal the powers.
while they're playing though, I don't know, it's gonna be tough. We'll see. I'm not gonna criticize it until I see
Because they're
it.
not everyone's on the same team here too, right? There's
No,
only,
it's gonna be
so,
interesting. I'm curious to know how they're gonna do it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right, any other news?
I think that's it.
All right, let's get started on the episodes the movies this week.
Yeah.
Would you like to start with Shaft?
Yes.
Okay.
Toss the shaft.
So you're gonna toss the Shaft at this movie?
Yeah.
I thought you liked this movie.
Yeah, but we gotta toss it the shaft and give it a bad score.
All right, give us your opening. Wait. Before we get into the opening thoughts, have you seen the original TV show Shaft?
No, I saw the other one with Samuel L.
The
Jackson.
original movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so the prequel, I guess not a prequel. Yeah, prequel because
Yeah, I guess the
not a prequel. The
prequel.
first movie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what were your opening thoughts on the 2019 version of Shaft?
So in 2019, I'm not gonna lie, I saw this and I'm like, this is gonna be so dumb. Like, what are they doing here? Like, this cannot be good. And I was wrong. I enjoyed the cast. I always never underestimate Samuel L. Jackson. This guy can almost make anything work. Like, and even if the movie he's in is terrible, he's always the best part of that movie if it is terrible, right? So Samuel L. Jackson really being Samuel L. Jackson, carrying this movie. I thought the character that they had to play his son, it was a good dynamic there. The jokes were funny. They all pretty much land for me, and the story made sense. It's not a super complicated story, and it didn't need to be. So it knew its place, and I feel like it was very successful in knowing what it wanted to do and what it wanted to be. It had identity, purpose, and big booties.
Xavier, this is our 30th podcast. Do you know that?
Yeah.
That's the best opening thoughts I think you've ever put together. I think that is so well said. Like I don't really have
thank you.
much to add to that. Like I too had low expectations of this movie when I'm like, they're making another Shaft. Wait, and Samuel L. Jackson's gonna be in it, and he's gonna have a son. Oh, I don't see this being good. I figure this was a money grab or a money grab to a movie that nobody wanted.
Yeah.
But to my surprise, like Xavier, I really enjoyed it. I thought the humor was great. I fell out of my seat laughing at least 2 times. And it's funny from the very beginning of the movie to the very end of the movie. And you highlighted Samuel L. Jackson. He was great. I love most of my favorite scenes are Samuel L. Jackson making fun of millennials. Like I just absolutely loved it. But we also have like good characters. Like the backstory to Shaft is believable. You talked about his son being a very good character. I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the negatives because it's not a perfect movie. There are some problems. I really wasn't the biggest fan of the third act of this movie. I thought it was a little bit weak. I thought it was a little bit rushed. I felt at some points of the movie it was like, you're going a little fast for me. I'm not following. I didn't like the closure between Shaft and Shaft Jr., and I will go into that when we get into the podcast or into the deep dive. And I really wasn't a fan of the fact that Gordito, the villain, wasn't very well developed. So those are a couple of things I'll talk about when we get into this deep dive. Anything else you want to say?
No, that's everything. Let's get into it.
So the movie begins in the 1980s, and Shaft is with his girlfriend Maya in her car, and she's absolutely ripping into him because he doesn't trust banks. So he keeps all of his money in like rolls in rolls of 20s. It's kind of funny. Like we get this idea that he is, not very big with technology.
Yeah, he doesn't like technology. No. Anti-Black Mirror.
So while Shaft is listening to all of these problems that Maya is complaining about, there are a bunch of men approaching the car with guns. And Shaft sees this, and he gets Maya to put her head between his legs, and she thinks he's
trying to get some.
Yeah,
he's trying to introduce her to Shaft.
But no. Shaft's like put down your head, and then at that moment there is a bunch of gunfire.
Yeah,
and they're protected by the car. Shaft then emerges from the car and shoots all of them.
Takes him out.
Yeah,
no problem.
No issues. Maya is enraged because not only is she in the car, but their son is in the car. Mm-hmm. So she decides to leave Shaft. Now, my question is very simple. Wasn't this a fantastic introduction to this movie?
Yeah. No, I liked it. It explained what it needed to explain. How he had a kid, why the kid wasn't in the picture, and because I'm going a little bit ahead here, but like we see Shaft sending presents and watching him grow up without a father as at the very beginning as well, right? Which is good. It makes sense. It sets the stage for, okay, the kid doesn't really appreciate Shaft because Shaft is more. Let's just say he's real.
He's very real. That is the best word to describe Shaft. I loved it too. I thought it's very believable as a start to the story, like why a woman would want to leave. for
Yeah.
protection because Shaft isn't going to leave, right? That's not his personality.
Yeah, that's
His
the
job is to
life.
protect Harlem, right? He says it throughout the movie that Harlem, you know, that's the front lines, right? He's a soldier on the front lines. Moreover than that, like it sets up our villain Gordito without even having to use it. It's very well written, and it shows like Shaft's abilities, right? Like it shows it right off the bat that this guy is a good shooter, a good cop, very witty,
He's capable.
very capable, very like
Kind of like Nick Fury.
observant. Yeah, kind of like Nick Fury. So then we get the kind of the credits, and we get like two aspects to it. We see Xavier kind of touched upon it. We see Shaft, how he's this great cop. He chases down bad guys. He eventually quits the force, which we see that scene right from the first movie. And he creates a private investigation service, and he's a huge ladies' man. And then we see the son, who's now growing up with his mom in the suburbs. He has a very good relationship with mom. He's bullied, but is befriended by a guy named Hassan and Sasha, who kind of help him. He always gets gifts from dad. Shaft is always,
Giving gifts.
in the pictures giving gifts, but they're always inappropriate. As
Yeah.
Xavier said, real. He got condoms for I think his 13th birthday.
Yeah, and then I think he got a stripper one birthday. So, yeah.
Magazines, always got magazines for when
Yeah.
he's going out to
I
college.
think that's a great father. I wish my dad gave me that stuff when I was growing up.
Real, right? He goes to MIT for college. He joins the FBI. Again, is this not fantastic? Could this movie have started any better with the the 1980 scene and then the kind of
The fast track.
yeah.
That's what I said. It's introduces to the character, and you can tell that they live a very opposite life, right? His mom is sheltering him a little bit too. You get that idea in the thing, so you can be like, okay, this guy's gonna have to learn to not be a square.
And it more even than all of that. It gives us a great story arc of these two characters in a tight knit amount of time. And for anyone who does not know the movie Shaft, anyone who didn't watch the TV show, for anyone who didn't watch the Samuel Jackson movie, and know nothing about him, they can jump in and be like, "Oh, I know who this character."
Yeah.
And they do it without rushing it. It's so well written.
Plus, it was good for reminding me what happened in the
Yeah.
last movie, because I think I was like a kid when I watched the first.
Yeah, and it's also good for people who know Shaft and be like, Shaft wouldn't have a kid. If he did, he'd be honorable. Well, guess what? We see it. He knew he had a kid. It's very believable, and he always was. He was as present of a father as he could have been, because Maya, we find out, doesn't want him to be a father.
Yeah.
Maya doesn't want him to see his son. So he's as present as he can be, and that
Yeah.
I think is really, really important for this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
So we kind of meet John Shaft Jr., who's this rookie FBI agent, and he wants more responsibility. He's smart. He is was tops at MIT. He's a great agent.
I think he's the top analyst there.
The top analyst that they've got. And his friend Hassan is kind of back in town and invites John for drinks with him and Sasha, who's become a doctor. So the three of them are back together. And we get this idea that Hassan had some drug problems.
Yeah.
And-
He was part of the army.
Yeah.
Came back PTSD, so he turned to drugs.
Yeah, and the idea is the government wasn't helping. So he decides to start a new foundation for veterans, and he calls it Brothers Helping Brothers. So that vets that are coming back from war don't have the same problems he'll have, like addiction.
It was funny because I love how, like, in the joke, brothers helping brothers, because, like, when I first heard it, I'm like, that is a terrible name.
It is a terrible name,
Then
though,
it was
isn't it?
addressed. Then it's addressed in the movie, and I'm like, okay, awesome, perfect. I would just...
Yeah, Shaft, when he finds out, he thinks that his son's gay with Hassan.
Yeah.
But in reality, no. It's just the name of this group.
Of this organization.
Yeah.
Brothers helping brothers.
And Shaft's like, that's a horrible name. Hassan abruptly gets a text message and leaves. At this point, what did you think of this character?
I thought Hassan was like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, this guy's a drug
I
dealer.
said Hassan. It's Kareem. I totally lied to you. It's Kareem, his name.
Oh. Wow.
I don't know why I said Hassan. We're gonna have like a bunch of people write and be like, "This guy does not watch the
This
movie."
guy's racist. Uh-oh. We're gonna have some issues. Nah, just playing. It happens. But yeah, so Kareem, I thought Kareem was in on something. I'm like, this guy's part of the main villain. Like, I think he's like, well, technically, I was right. He was up to no good, but he's trying to make right, and you know.
But he wasn't up to no good.
Yeah, he was.
We'll talk. We'll talk
Well,
about that. But he definitely
okay.
wasn't up to. He was up to no good. He was
He
definitely
was like those ghosts
no.
in my attic.
I thought he was bad. I thought that either he was bad on purpose or he was being kind of manipulated. But I knew immediately that brothers helping brothers was at the core of any problem.
Yeah, brothers helping brothers.
So the next day,
Drugs.
Kareem is found dead of an overdose.
Oh no,
At least that's what's on the report.
poor Kareem.
So John, he does some investigating of himself because he doesn't believe it. He said Kareem would never do drugs again. Like he was clean.
Yeah.
He had the life energy back in his eyes.
Yeah, you saw his eyes; they were different.
So he goes to see a drug dealer in Harlem. And I think this is a very funny scene
Yeah.
because he's like this like preppy character who is kind of being taken advantage of, and he's has no idea of the protocol to how to buy drugs, and he goes in and asks for the drug dealer by name. He's like surrounded by all these people, and it ends with him getting hit in the head with a gun,
Punched
pistol
out. Yeah.
just knocked out. And he starts to believe that maybe Kareem did do the drugs until Sasha, the doctor that's helping with him and his kind of love interest in this movie, says, "Oh no, wait! Now that I've seen the report, there's no way he could have OD'd. There's too many drugs in the system,
It was way too much.
way too much." So he's like, "I'm gonna figure this out." And Sasha's like, "You can't do that. You don't know what you're doing. Look what happened this time." So he's like, "I know a guy."
And we get introduced to Shaft.
Yeah, he's gonna go see his
Ooh,
father.
baby, Shaft, he's the hero and he's the ladies' man.
Would you have investigated this if you were Junior?
Well, of course, it's my friend. That's my homie.
How would you have gone to your father, even though he's been
I
like,
would have gone to my father first before I got to the drug dealer because I know I need backup.
yeah, I would not. You couldn't like for someone who's supposed to be really smart, like that's not a smart decision to go to meet a drug dealer in
Yeah.
a sketchy area.
Well, he's not street smart, right? He's book
Definitely not
smart.
street smart. No, not
So-
even a little bit.
We can tell that. That's what happens when you're a square. In this world, you either get the shaft or you give the shaft. It looks like Shaft Jr. got the shaft.
I don't even know what to say to that. So Junior goes to see Senior, or we'll call him Shaft throughout this review, in his PI
The real
place
Shaft.
or apartment building.
Mhm.
And when he gets there, a butt naked female opens the door.
And we see her boobs. This movie is awesome.
So this movie's not for children. And he's like, "I'm looking for Shaft."
She's like, I just got one. How about we just...
And as she says that, there's a gun to Junior's head,
Yeah.
and it's Shaft's like, "Who are you looking for?" It's like, it's me, Junior." "Who's Junior?" "No, John Shaft Jr." And he's like, "Oh, your
Junior.
son." "Oh, Junior, you're good. Come on in." So the father's happy, would you say, to see Junior?
Very happy.
See, I don't know if I would say he's really happy. He's like, "What are you doing here? Like, I'm not supposed to see you," kind of thing.
Oh.
I don't know. I got that idea.
Maybe because his mom beat him or something.
Maybe. So Junior says to the father, he's like, "Dad, I got a problem I need help with." And Shaft's like, "Oh my God, I knew this day was coming. My son."
Yeah, he's like, listen, you need plan B. You want me to drive you to the place? That's what he thought was going on.
Yeah, he thought he got a girl knocked up, and he's like,
Yeah.
"No, I didn't get someone knocked up. I need to hire you." Now Shaft only agrees to work with him once Junior says the location of the place, where he went to in Harlem. Why Would he just not help his son?
I think he was gonna help his son the whole time, because I think he wanted to get that time with his son. Because we at the start it shows that he's cares because he's always sending pictures. So I think he says it was for himself, but really he didn't really realize he did it because of it's his son. You know, he was just kind of like lying to himself. I feel like this is how Shaft is gonna develop throughout the movie.
I feel like you're right, and I think a big part of this is he's been on his own for so long, he doesn't know how to be a father,
Yeah.
and part of it is the journey to becoming one, right?
Yeah.
So I think that I tend to agree with you. I think he is going to help his son right from the beginning. I, I think a big part of Shaft's life is like he's been looking for Gordito since the 80s, right?
Yeah.
So for like 30 years, he's been looking for this person and hasn't found him yet. So he's like, if I catch Gordito, I can actually be with my son, and Maya will be okay with it. So I think that's a big problem.
That too.
And as he agrees, Shaft notices a scar on Junior's head from where he was pistol whipped. And he asks him who did it. And Junior tells his dad, what happened. And he's like, Shaft's like, get in the car. Get in the car.
He's like, nobody does that.
Nobody does that to my son. And he's like, no, Dad, it's okay. No, it's not okay. And he drives him right to that drug dealer's house, and he goes into the back seat to grab his shotgun. And Junior's like, what are you doing? And he's like, Shaft's like to Junior, he's like, listen, you have two choices. You can come with me like a man, or you can go into the car.
Or wait in the car.
And he goes to wait in the car first, and he's like, no, I'm a man. I'm going to come in. I'm going to come in with them. So he goes in. And Shaft just beats up everyone, and it's not really a loaded shotgun. It's loaded with, like, I guess, salt.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, like, win people. And he shoots a bunch of people. He goes to see the drug dealer, and the drug dealer's like, he yells to the drug dealer, why in the world would you assault my son? And the drug dealer one look at the kid, and one look at Shaft, and he's like, I'm getting out of there.
Here. He left.
So clearly, he knew who Shaft was.
Yeah.
And he knew that you do not mess with Shaft.
Mm-hmm.
So he eventually catches him. And one of the funny things is when Shaft knocks the people out, he gives Junior the guns, kind of like the real guns. And Junior just throws them out the window. And Shaft now, as the guys run away, is like, where's the guns? Like, I threw them out the window. Why would you throw them out the window? They're kids in this neighborhood.
I know. It makes sense, though.
So he catches up with his drug dealer and ends up breaking a finger.
Couple of fingers, I think.
Or two fingers. He breaks 2 fingers. And, the kid, Junior's like, why are you breaking his fingers? He's like, because I need to get the information. And the drug dealer gives the information after the second finger is broken that it's brothers helping brothers. And as you alluded to earlier, Shaft just makes fun of his name. Actually, both of them, the drug dealer and Shaft, make fun of the name.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you
name.
broke. And then the drug dealer's like, you broke my hand. He's like, no, I didn't break your hand. And he Shaft breaks his hand.
It's like, this is breaking your hand.
What are your thoughts on this scene?
I like this scene. It shows Shaft is tough. He's no nonsense. He gets to the business. You can tell he runs his area of Harlem. It's like, this is Harlem. This is my home. I'm a frontline soldier, and I gotta get these drugs off the street.
Oh, I think personally, this is the best scene in the movie. Again, it does a lot. You talk about, I talked about the brothers helping brothers jokes, which are hilarious, and they really develop Shaft's character and kind of his humor. We see Shaft as this no-nonsense personality, and it's starting to appeal to his son a little bit. Mm-hmm. But we also see the son being like, you broke like a dozen laws.
Yeah.
He's like, that's what the front lines is all about. But it also, gives us an idea of how Harlem kind of works, right? Mm-hmm. And how everything's going. So I personally really liked it. So they go to Brothers Helping Brothers to kind of figure out what's going on. And they get some information that puts them onto
Brothers Helping Brothers.
No, when they go to Brothers Helping Brothers and they ask them all these questions, where do they throw them towards?
I don't know where you're going with this.
The mosque.
Oh, Oh yeah.
They think that it's all about religion and things
Oh
like
yeah,
that. That
the
the
mosque.
terrorists going
Mhm.
and working at the mosque. So that's kind of their next play. So we can talk here that obviously that they're bad, right? Like brothers helping brothers.
Yeah.
That this is all just to put Shaft on their away from them and on their trail, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, because it's completely obvious.
Yeah. No, I knew Brothers Helping Brothers was bad.
Why do you think the Shafts are by this? And do you like this element to the story?
I think I know the actual Shaft didn't buy this, but it's his son's case, so I think he's just letting his son figure things out for himself to become to figure out how everything works.
And we know this because in the next scene they go out to a party.
Mhm.
And Shaft asks the guy about the brothers helping brothers people
Yeah.
to get more information.
Mhm.
So we know Shaft suspects this suspects
Yeah.
brothers helping brothers from the beginning. So that night, Shaft's like, we're gonna do some recon, but really takes his son to a party.
Mhm.
And there's two attractive ladies that keep Junior there,
Yeah.
and he drinks a lot.
Over drinks.
Gets into a fight.
A scuffle.
Well, how do you describe? It's like a judo, like dancing fight.
Capori. I only know this because this one game I used to play had that.
You want to
fighting
explain
style.
this to me because I didn't understand it.
It's like a dance and fighting style. First, I thought he was the drunken master. 'Cause some of his moves looked more like Jackie Chan's drunken master punches, but then he started doing a dance. So Corporea is like this fighting style down south, where it's kind of like you're dancing and you're fighting. So like you do a little turn and then it's a kick to the face. It's a weird style. I guess it helps a lot if you drink a lot and you go to the nightclub because now you look like you're dancing and punching people. But
Okay.
honestly, you don't see that in the UFC because it would probably get destroyed.
And after he, that's funny. And after he beats this guy up, the girls are so impressed.
You're like, yeah, I want to introduce me to Yo Shaft.
And
He throws up on them. Classic move.
Oh, classic nerd. Why have this scene in the movie? Like, why this whole nightclub scene? Like, what's the point?
It was to gather information, I guess.
For Shaft, it's to gather information,
For
like we
Shaft.
talked about. But what about for Junior?
For Junior, I find it's just to show that he's a little bit of a square, you know? He's not getting the Shaft, he doesn't have the Shaft charisma yet.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it shows us that he can fight, though, that he is capable?
He's capable, yeah.
And
that
more,
too.
more important than that, isn't it a little bit about father-son bonding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Father-son bonding time, you know? He's like, this is my son. I want him to introduce the Shaft to all the ladies.
So the next
I'm
morning,
not going to stop.
you are gonna. This is a theme for you, isn't it? Right from the beginning. The next day, they go to the mosque, and Sasha, the doctor, meets them there, and the imam there is very shady, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't want his daughter talking to the Shafts,
Yeah.
even though the daughter was engaged to Kareem.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some. Maybe they're bad.
Yeah, right.
But we
Why
know
you
this is a
being
smoke screen right
scared?
away, right?
Yeah.
It's all
Why you
smoke screen.
why you being so heat?
The question is it too obvious of a smoke screen?
Yeah, I think that's a little bit. I never stopped suspecting brothers helping brothers.
Do you like the fact they made it so obvious?
I don't know if it was an on purpose thing, to be honest. Maybe they just thought they were slick, and I think maybe just we watch too much movies, so we
Maybe.
see the signs.
Maybe. I thought of it as like I think they're trying to be different, but this makes the FBI look incompetent. It makes John Shaft Jr. look incompetent.
Mm-hmm.
It makes everyone look bad. I didn't like it for that reason.
Okay.
Because I feel like you're taking away from law enforcement. You're taking away from you said John Shaft Jr. is supposed to be the smart character, but he buys into this so quickly.
Yeah.
This stereotypes that we live in our society. I don't like that. I don't know. Did you like bringing Sasha to the mosque?
I didn't mind. I guess it's to introduce her because he's the love interest. So to show his charisma.
See, I really don't like this either because she's a doctor. She has no reason to be there except for plot points. This is why she's there. Chastise Shaft for being a horrible father and to make Shaft ask her to go on a date with the son so they can push that date on. If she's not there, they can't have that date scene.
Yeah, but it's also Kareem was her friend too, so
And
she's like, I want to do the right thing.
oh my god! But you're not a you're a doctor. You're not a police officer. And more importantly, that they have this scene with Shaft where she chastises him, but we never get closure on that. So I wasn't a big fan of it.
Because it's gonna be a sequel, baby.
Yeah, well, probably. If I thought it was good. So that takes the Shafts to this grocery store. That's clearly a front for something.
Drugs.
And they trace back the money from that this grocery store gave what $200,000, $2 million dollars to the mosque. So they're clearly in bed with each other. So the Shafts go there, and Junior's like, "Let me take care of this my way," and it ends up with him getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
So Shaft takes over and starts shooting up all their nice stuff.
And then you're like, this is why you shooting at her. This is crazy. What's wrong with you? Which I loved as well.
But John Shaft does play. It is actually really good. Like I really like the fact that
The
Benny
scene.
plays into this. Now, John Shaft puts a little bug there too, so he can monitor everything going on there. But does Benny actually say or admit that the mosque is evil?
No.
I don't think so either. I didn't think that they did. So then, after she puts a hit on her, why do they assume it's the mosque? Because Benny's gonna put a hit on the two Shafts. Why do they just assume it's the mosque then? If she never admitted that she was in bed with the mosque.
Because didn't what's his face put that bug there, and then she confirmed that she sent them?
Yeah, but how do we know that's the mosque then? Like, why do they make the connection when this hit gets placed on them and they see Benny making the call that the mosque is bad? She never said she was with the mosque.
I mean, that's true, but I guess it's because she sent some money over to them.
Maybe, but I
Maybe
think
to
that's
keep their
shoddy
mouth
cop
shut.
work on all of the parts. So I guess that leads to this question. I think you know my answer. Does that make that Shaft look bad? That they believe it?
Yeah. I think I know your answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does kind of give them a
Both
bad
of them.
taste in your mouth.
Both of them, though, because Shaft, even the senior Shaft, thinks that it's over at this point.
Yeah.
So that takes us kind of to this hit, and I'll call it date night. So Maya, the mom, is on a date with a man, and Shaft is there because he knew about it because he was in the car with Junior. And Maya gets when Maya sees him, she gets flustered and she goes to the washroom, and the like little cut scenes of what she says, hilarious. Like, it's like I still like him. What's he doing here? How did he know? Oh my god, he still looks good. All of these little things. What do you think this means for the two of them in the future?
They gonna get back together because she got them feelings.
I agree. Like the car scene, at the beginning, men walk towards Shaft. Shaft notices immediately, and Shaft tells Maya, "Duck." And Maya's like, "Why are people always shooting you?"
Yes, he's always trying to have him. Then it also plays her date. She's just screaming at him and making fun of him. And then it's like, yeah, we're just trying to have a date. Like, you can tell the guy's a total square.
Yeah.
And
oh my god,
excitement.
The guy that's she's with is like losing his crap too.
Yeah.
Like he's screaming, and to the point where Maya's like, "You need to shut up right now."
Yeah, shut up.
And Shaft takes care of everyone, like you would expect. And Shaft at the end is like, "We got to go see Junior because he might be in trouble too. He's on a date with Sasha." And Mom's not happy about this, which I guess makes somewhat sense.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be with your son. And at that other date now, things are going really good for the two of them. And there's a shootout. And John grabs Sasha's like little small gun. And he starts shooting everyone.
Yeah.
Are you okay with this? Like that he shoots up everyone?
I'm okay because he said he didn't like guns. He never said he was bad with them.
Well, he has to be good with guns. I don't
Yeah,
understand.
he's an FBI.
Yeah, he would have been trained to shoot a gun.
Mhm.
He would have been trained at Quantico. So we find out through the thing that Benny ordered the hit, and the mosque is taken, and there's no terrorist activity at all, and then John Shaft is suspended. I don't understand how this is possible. To me, this is where the movie goes off the rails a little bit. How do you get suspended when you gave them all the evidence and then they go take the mosque?
Yeah, I don't know. They just upset. The guy seems like a total,
Yeah, but
D-bag.
I said I don't like this. Like I did you like it?
I wasn't upset with it. I kind of figured that was gonna happen. I thought they're trying to look for a way to make him, a private eye.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, anyway, I particularly didn't love it either. But Shaft Jr. goes to see Shaft and kicks him out of his life, saying, you were only in it for you. You don't really care about me. And then he continues his own investigation.
Yeah.
And he
Climax.
goes to Brothers Helping Brothers with Sasha. And we find out that Benny is actually the cousin to one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And why would he bring Sasha with him?
I don't know. Sasha went with him to the mosque.
Yeah.
So.
So Sasha's supposed to watch his back. And then she goes to, I'm going to go help him.
Yeah.
And then realize, I'm not going to be that girl. But then she's that girl anyway. So
Yeah.
stupid.
Why would they have that line and then have her do it anyway? That's the thing I didn't like.
I didn't like it either. But while this is all going on, Shaft goes to see Maya and be like, listen, I need to see my son. I need to protect him. And he finally tells Maya that, he came to me. And Maya's like, he came to you? Go protect him, John. Go protect him.
And then he goes.
They go, and Sasha gets captured, and the two of them have to go save her.
Yeah.
And we find out Gordito is behind all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So with no weapons and no car, because the car is blown up, they go to see Shaft's father, who's
The
also
original
named John
Shaft.
Shaft, who is played by the original Shaft actor, who's only 6 years older than Samuel L. Jackson. So they go in reinforcements. They get all the weapons. They go to the hotel. There's this huge shootout. And it ends with Gordito dying and Shaft getting shot. Did you like this scene? Was it too much
good.
for you?
I liked the shooting out. It was a nice little shootout, and it ended. It didn't seem like it dragged on for me.
It didn't. It was a good shootout. Like it was entertaining. I didn't like the fact that Junior changed too much. Now he was like very street smart really quickly. It didn't develop it, but that's about it. So the ending, Shaft's okay. Maya's there. Shaft Jr. kisses Sasha. Shaft Jr. is reinstated to the FBI, but he decides not to join and to join the two Shafts as like private eyes.
Private eyes.
Now,
Shaft Corporation.
Are you okay with this decision?
Yeah, why not?
I didn't like it.
Don't work for the man. He's doing his own thing.
I don't like it at all.
What, you want him to work for the man, eh? To be a slave.
It's the FBI.
Yeah.
You're working for the people.
So is Shaft.
I don't.
But he doesn't have to
Shaft
follow the
breaks
rules.
I don't. You really like it, or are you just saying that?
I actually do like it.
See, I don't. I think that that changes his character too much. He's supposed to be the straight and like an Arrow type character, and now he just took a 180.
I thought he was supposed to start that way, and then I knew they were gonna trade him to be the actual Shaft.
Yeah, well, I figured that, right? I feel like that's where they're gonna go with this franchise.
Yeah, and he couldn't do that if he stayed at the FBI, right?
Yeah,
So.
I don't get it. I don't, but to me, keep Samuel L. Jackson around for another movie because now you know what's gonna happen in the next movie.
Samuel Jackson's gonna die.
In the first 5 minutes.
I don't think he's gonna die.
100% it's gonna happen. It's typical sequel with this kind of movie. Because otherwise, you have to keep Samuel L. Jackson in the movie the whole time.
Yeah, I think they'll do another fun little adventure thing, or who knows?
Maybe.
They might not do anything.
Maybe. Which leads me to, I guess, this question. It's getting critically destroyed. It only has 35% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Maybe it's not what the critics wanted.
Maybe. Would you want a sequel for this movie?
I wouldn't need a sequel. I wouldn't mind a sequel, but yeah, it's if it's done well, then yeah, why not?
Does Samuel L. Jackson have to be in the movie for you to want a sequel?
Yeah, and not for 5 minutes.
Not for 5 minutes. The whole movie.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions with this movie?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. What would you give this movie out of 10?
Give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I'm going to go 7.5. And a lot of this has to do with the third act. I felt the third act was a little bit rushed. I really don't like the choice of the ending. I think that you could have had Shaft Jr. leave the FBI at the end of the second movie even. I didn't like how the FBI reacted to their own decision to take the mosque. So there were some things there I didn't like. All right. Toy Story 4?
Let's get into Toy Story 4.
What were your opening thoughts on Toy Story 4?
I'll say everyone that knew me knew I was not excited for this. I was like, they can just end it. They had such a perfect ending. How are you gonna top that? It was just, I don't know. I just felt it wasn't gonna be the greatest movie. But for this, it did exactly what it could have done. You can't top Toy Story 3. It's impossible. But it did a really, really good try. And I feel like this hurts the movie a little bit because the franchise a little bit because the franchise was had a great ending, total closure. Now we kind of have it. There's open for more. There's more confusion. So, but still, great movie, and would recommend.
I really had a tough time coming up with opening thoughts for this movie because I'm torn. Like you, Toy Story 3 is one of the most perfect endings a movie could possibly have or a franchise could possibly have. The way they left off the characters, it pulls your heartstrings. Toy Story 3's ending, the last scene where Andy's giving away Woody and you just see Woody's face as a toy and Andy crying in the car. There's just it just pulls at those heartstrings to the point where you feel for these characters. And we talked about this on the podcast last week when we talked about Toy Story, how after Toy Story 3, I went home and I grabbed my favorite toy, my kitty, and I slept with it that night. You have to be heartless not to feel. You have to be completely heartless not to feel so emotional for that last scene. And when I found out there was going to be a Toy Story 4, I was worried. I didn't want it. I was very content with the ending. But I also trust Disney in a lot of ways. And I was like, all right, I think they could do something with it. And then Dave showed me a lot of these short films with Buzz and Woody with Bonnie. And I'm like, oh, these are actually pretty good. This movie could be good. And after watching the movie, I was really impressed. I was very, very impressed. I feel like they keep finding new ways to tell great stories with themes that humans can understand, that we can relate to. And this movie did a great job with it. Now, I didn't like it as much as the other three, but I will admit there's bias in this because of the way this movie ended. And a lot of my negativity of this movie is in that ending and how they chose to end this movie. And I know that even Pixar was very, I don't know if I want to end it this way. And apparently Tim Allen read the script and he's like, oh no, this is fine. And I guess we'll see what
Tim Allen has that much power over.
Well, these two guys, right, Hanks and Allen, these are the franchise. I know that they have had say in their characters in the past. Mm-hmm. So. Anyway, those are my opening thoughts, and we'll get into some of my questions as we get through this. The movie begins in between movies 2 and 3. And it takes place, I guess, 9 years before Toy Story 4 will happen. And we see RC, who I guess has been left on the driveway in a rainstorm, is getting swept away down a storm drain. And Woody shows his selflessness and goes to rescue him. And all the toys help, right? Mm-hmm. And they're going to save the day. And while this is all going on, Bo Peep and her lamp gets sold to another man, and Woody tries to save her. Mm-hmm. And Bo says that that's part of being a toy. And then we got our credits, with You've Got a Friend in Me, like a typical Toy Story movie. Did you like the way this movie started or where this movie started?
Yeah, I liked it, but I'm not gonna lie. Um, Based on when your girlfriend, when she said she didn't like the ending, I knew exactly what was gonna happen at
Oh,
that
you know,
point.
it's funny. I didn't tell anyone, but I immediately knew that. Well, I guess I don't need to do a spoiler alert because we're talking about it's a deep dive of the movie that Woody was going to be leaving the group by the end of
Yeah.
this movie because that's what sometimes a toy needs to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no. And I like the start. I like the beginning. I would have almost liked the movie to take place in between Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, and I would have been okay with it with Andy again. Like you could have gone
Yeah.
back in time. I would have been almost. I think it would almost been better now knowing what's going on. But it was good. It was good to see Andy back as a kid. So I guess we're 2 years after the third movie. That's where we begin in this one.
Hmm.
And Bonnie during the "You've Got a Friend Like Me" is playing with all these toys. Is all happy. But when the movie starts 2 years later, she plays with all of the toys, but Woody.
Woody sits in the closet.
Do you need any more proof that Woody will not be there at the end of this movie?
I know, right?
But Woody, who's gone through a kid aging, sees that it's the first day of kindergarten
Hmm.
or the kindergarten orientation.
Yeah.
And Bonnie's not having it. Like, doesn't want to go. And she
This is
wants to
one of
bring a
those
toy.
kids.
And, parents say no toys at
Yeah.
this school. So Woody goes to the keeper of the room, who I think. Do you know who the keeper of the room in this movie is?
Is it Kristen Wiig's character?
Yeah. Do you know her name? Is it
Uh,
Dolly? Is that who it is?
I think so.
I think that's who it is. I actually know her name because I don't think they use her name in this movie.
Yeah.
So he goes to Dolly, be like, listen, I think we should get a toy in there because I think that would be helpful to Bonnie that have someone there to support her. And Dolly's like, no.
No,
But
this
Woody,
is my way. We do things differently than what
but
you do
Woody,
things.
Woody decides to sneak in there anyway.
He doesn't listen.
And
He wants to help those kids.
Dolly just doesn't agree that Andy's a different kid. Bonnie's different. Is Woody right? Do you think he makes the right decision sneaking off and going against Dolly's orders, who's running the room?
I'm trying to think, because after what happened, she doesn't even know he's there though, so it wasn't
No,
really.
I'm talking about. Do you think in general, at the moment he decides to go, before we see the hindsight of what he does when he's there, do you think he makes the right decision?
Um, I thought it was gonna end badly, to be honest, because I'm like, he's probably not in his element anymore. Like, kids have changed and everything like that.
See, I thought he was right immediately. I thought again that I feel like this movie was a lot of Woody going to be doing a lot of talking, and no one's going to agree with him, but he's going to be right the entire movie. And I was right. Like everything he kind of does, he ends up being right with.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks he's just looking out for himself, or that he's jealous because he's not being played. But why I didn't think that was going to be the case?
Why?
Because we already had that storyline.
Oh
That
yeah,
was the first movie.
storyline.
We
Yeah.
know he's gotten over that, right? He learned to share. He learned that there's more to being a
Being the
toy
number
than
one.
being the number one. Exactly, than being the number one. So I never thought this movie was about jealousy. I always thought he cared about Bonnie and everything he said, and we see this in the movie as it goes on. And at the school, Bonnie's isolated. She's
Yeah.
by herself. She sits at this table by herself, and they have to make these crafts. And a kid comes by and steals all of her materials.
And then he throws some in the garbage for some reason. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So
Freaking
Woody,
kids are dumb.
yeah, Woody kind of opens the bag, goes to get some crayons and a couple like materials from the garbage can, and gives Bonnie the support to get her through the day. And Bonnie ends up making a character or a toy called Forky out of these materials and comes alive on the way home. What does this show us about Woody?
What he cares about is kid. He wants to help the kid. His purpose. He feels like even though he's not being played with, he still can help.
Yeah, and I think he's like legitimately he's over being like he's been around the block, right? It's been I think 19 years, 21 years since he's, been the head toy.
Yeah.
Like
Well, he's made in the 50s.
well, we find that out, but with Andy, right? Like
Yeah.
like I don't know. I don't know, but I think he's there to be a good person. He's selfless. I think he's the most selfless character in the Toy Story universe.
I don't know. Buzz is pretty up there.
Buzz is a good character, a very good character, but he's not as selfless as he's a follower. And one of the things I love about this movie is him trying to take on this leadership role.
And he's like, "Oh, what? Whoa, guys! Let me
Yeah,
listen to my voice."
be in their voice, right? But that shows us that Woody is the most selfless character, and that I think even in the first movie, right? We talked about this last week when we talked about Toy Story. Buzz is this young, naive character who thinks he's actually a space
toy.
ranger, right?
Yeah.
So he's learning from Woody, right? He learned a lot from Woody in the first, second, and even in the third movie. Woody's always been the unquestionable leader of the gang. When Forky returns home, there's one little problem.
He thinks he's trash.
He thinks he's trash, and all he wants to do.
Is just keep going into which I love. This is probably one of my favorite things.
So for the next 5 minutes of the movie, or 5-10 minutes of the movie, all Woody does is he kind of follows Forky around and makes sure he doesn't go into the garbage.
Yeah, he doesn't kill himself.
Because here's the thing, Bonnie wants to do is play with Forky now.
Yeah.
And why do you think that is?
Because Bonnie sees one of those kids that feels safety in toys. So she created that toy and it made her feel safe when she was at kindergarten. So now it's her favorite toy.
I think that's absolutely right. And, the next day, or while this is all going on, Bonnie's been told by the parents that before kindergarten starts in a week, we're going to go on a road trip. And they get in the RV and they go out. And the entire time, Forky's trying to find garbages everywhere, and Woody's just putting them back.
Woody throws the garbage out of the thing. He starts trying to go in the garbage.
Yeah. Until one day or one night, when they're about 5 kilometers away, or 5 miles, I guess it's the United States, away from the stopover for the night, Forky jumps out of the window.
Yeah.
And Woody looks up and he's like, 5 miles? I can get there. I can make it by the morning. So he jumps out with him, and he pretty much drags Forky the entire way.
It's funny. He's just bouncing up and
Yeah,
down.
and then he takes a couple steps. And I think this is a great scene in the movie because we see that on the way, Woody's trying to explain to Forky what you
The
mean.
purpose of a toy, what he means to.
And kind of Forky realized, wait a minute, Bonnie's trash. That's the trash can. I'm Bonnie's trash. He can't. It takes him now he's like, oh, I want to go to Bonnie.
Yeah.
So he's excited.
Because I'm helping her. He feels happy, he has a purpose.
Yeah, and I think that's really good. And again, I think we see Woody making the right decision. Woody and Forky get to the city, this RV city, which has a big carnival that's going on, and he gets there just as the sun's about rising, and he sees the RV. They're back. He's got plenty of time, but he also sees this antique shop that has Bo Peep's lamp.
And he's like, whoa.
He decides to go in. We got some time. Let's go in and let's see this.
That's the love of my life. Bo Peep, baby.
Do you like this? Does this make sense to Woody's character?
I don't know. He does make sense because I feel like he's still, even though he's not about himself, he's still wondering what my purpose as a toy is. He's like, Bonnie doesn't play with me anymore, and now my purpose is just playing babysit. And then he's like, oh, wait, Bonnie, maybe I can see her again and see how she's doing. Bo Peep, sorry. Maybe I can see how she's doing, and maybe I can bring her to come with Bonnie, and then I have someone to enjoy being a lonely, useless toy with.
I like this. I think it makes sense because Woody is he's been out of the house before, right? This isn't the first movie where he's crazy because it's the first time out of the house by himself, lost. Like, I think he knows how to deal with this. Like, he's got a lot of experience. Again, we're talking like 19 to 21 years of this. And I think he knows he has some time, and why not take a little pit stop to see an old friend? Maybe get some guidance, because, like we said, Bo Peep had guidance for him before, and I do think you are right where, you know, he's kind of looking for purpose.
Yeah.
So in the antique shop, he's calling for Bo, and they encounter a doll named Gabby, who says that she knows Bo. Come into the baby carriage that I'm being transported in with all of these. I want to say like Slappy dogs from like dolls from like Goosebumps. You know,
they
Slappy.
look like those Slappy. They did look like Slappy from Goosebumps.
And it turns out that Gabby is a defective toy who doesn't have or never had a voice box that worked, and her CD works fine. She just needed
a new
cord
thingy or whatever it was.
So she wants Woody's, and Woody's like, "Nope, I'll pass on that."
Yeah.
And Woody's able to escape, but Forky gets captured.
Yeah.
Did you think Gabby was the villain of this story, or that? Like,
I thought she wasn't really the villain. She just was lonely.
I think that we're gonna find this out like 5 minutes later, but I think she's just misunderstood.
Yeah.
I don't think there's malice. The motives are very different, right?
It's like the way she treated Forky.
No, but I'm talking about even before we know this, like just this first scene, like when we kind of like she kind of like going after Woody's voice box, and you know, I think we see that for sure that in the future she isn't a villain. This movie actually doesn't really have a villain.
No,
it's really different from the other Toy Story movies.
Yeah.
So Woody makes his way to the carnival across the street. While all of this is going on, he is at like I guess a camp where all these kids show up, and he's trying to escape, and he gets I guess a skunk that drags him away, and we find out that it's Bo Peep. And they have this huge warm welcome. Bo is this new adventurer who's helping lost toys.
Yeah. She's living a dream. She's loving life.
Are there any doubts about the ending at this point?
No.
It just gets more and more,
It's more
right?
and more obvious that it's happening.
Meanwhile, Bonnie is very distraught that Forky's gone. Like, she's losing it. Where's Forky?
Yeah.
They check everywhere. They check outside the camper, the RV. They check inside the RV. Every little area of this RV is being looked at. So I guess that means that Woody was right.
Yeah,
Forky
was the most important toy to her
at this moment, and that's what Woody said. Like, right now, you're the most important toy. Just like for Woody, there was a time when he was the most important toy, and then there was a point where it was him and Buzz.
Yeah.
So they turn to Buzz now to be all these toys turn to Buzz for leadership, and Buzz tries this new plan. So the last kind of conversation he had with Woody is Woody says he's following his inner voice, his conscience, and what Buzz is like the little thing he presses. So he keeps pressing this button to kind of find out what his inner voice is, and the inner voice is telling him to go on a mission. So he's like, "I'm going on a mission!"
Yeah,
and he jumps out the window himself.
Yes.
Not sure what you thought about this, but I thought this was very clever and very funny. That it is really interesting, like, of a theme to show these toys with consciences and, like, you know, souls, so to speak, of their own.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought that's where you're going with that. My bad. I thought you were gonna add more, so I
No.
just stopped. But yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah, you could say that's the one magic of Disney, right? It's like what if toys had feelings? What if cars had feelings? What if feelings had feelings, right?
Oh, absolutely. And
They-
Inside Out was a great movie.
Yeah, they're good at showing what every little aspect had those feelings and everything like that.
But and I think the first one's just about what happened in a room of toys, like if they were alive.
Yeah.
And the second movie was kind of a little bit different, right? But it wasn't about consciousness or like feelings of toys. It was just again about toys. The third movie kind of touches upon it, right? Toys just want to be played with, right? Abandonment issues, things like that.
Yeah.
Like it's all about this. This is about like existential like issues about humans, right? About souls, about consciousness, about
What's
purpose.
one's purpose is.
That's what this movie again just this is what Disney does so well. This is what the Toy Story movies do so well. So Buzz leaves, and Jesse now is in charge.
Mhm.
And Jesse, who doesn't leave, who I guess kind of leaves, takes
Jumps
out a
out
tire
the window
to
and
just
takes
to take out a tire.
Why
So
is everyone jumping out the window?
But the best thing is the pony solution to delay.
Yeah, get the dad arrested.
Let's get the
Yeah.
dad arrested.
That was a good one. I like that. He keeps bringing it up every time. They're like, no, we're not going to do that.
Are you okay with this decision for Jessie?
What, to pop the tire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does she have to? Can't just Bonnie want to spend the day at the carnival? Wouldn't that be just an easier right?
Yeah, but how are they going to get Bonnie to spend the day at the carnival? She has to bring a toy, and her parents are like, no.
Right, and she's looking. Yeah, you're right.
So I feel like it's the best way, right? They're not going to... The parents are very much in power here.
So Buzz is on his way to the highway because that's where he thinks Woody is, and on his way he gets captured by a carnival person who puts him in one of the games, or like one of the carny games that you could win. And he ends up being saved by two stuffed toys, but again, he uses his inner conscience to help him escape.
And one of them's voiced by Keegan-Michael Peele.
No,
Key.
Key and Peele are the two.
Yeah,
the two.
Key.
The-
So
the-
by Key, it's voiced by
Peele,
Key.
both of them. They're the partners.
Oh, Key and Peele?
They're
It's
both.
of them?
One's Key, one's Peele.
I know Key's the duck then. Oh, that's hilarious because I
Yeah.
can tell when his voice, him and voice acting is hilarious.
Oh my
He
god,
has
they're
a-
hilarious. Both of them are hilarious.
I forgot. I think he has a funny voice though for voice acting. Whenever I hear him, he's in a lot of like Adult Swim movies, TV shows, and
Yeah, no, they're hilarious. Did you like the Ducky slash
the bunny that
bunny
holds
character?
hands all the time. Yeah, they're great.
They're they were just
It was
great.
funny.
And
There's-
again, that's another thing Toy Story does well. They add good characters.
Yeah.
Like you saw Jesse in number 2. You saw Lotso, I think, really good, and Ken and Barbie in number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Ducky and Bunny, and the character we're going to talk about in a minute, Duke Kaboom,
Yeah,
the best character of this movie.
because he's Canadian.
Yeah, yes, that is part of the reason I love him. So Bo and Woody, and Giggles McDimples, who is like a Polly Pocket, I guess.
Yeah, Polly Pocket toy.
They use the roofs of the carnival stands to get to the antique shop, and Buzz kind of catches them, and they all meet on the roof, and they all have this like reunion, and they come up with this mission to save Forky. So for some reason, Woody seems intent of not listening to Bo and just does his own thing
Yeah,
and spoils some of the plan.
yeah. He seemed to have tunnel vision.
But I think this is there to show like everyone that Woody's in it for himself, that he's lost his marbles, that he's jealous, or all of these things.
Yeah.
I think that's why they put this in there, but he's not. So after they decide to listen to Bo, and they've got two things. So Woody and Bo have to go find Duke Kaboom, who we'll talk about in a second, and Buzz and Duck and Bunny have to go find the key,
Yeah.
which just happens to fall in their lap.
Yeah, which is hilarious, and the way they're talking about the plans was hilarious too.
Oh yeah.
Where's the key? Give us the key.
Where they just pretend to be dolls, and then they
And then
wake
they just
up
jump
and they
and
jump
jump
on
in
the old lady's head.
Yeah.
Oh my
They're
god!
like, yeah, we're not doing
They
that.
had 3 plans, and it's the same plan all 3 times.
Yeah, except for the one where she goes all the way home and then they
Into the
just-
bath. But it's still the same thing where they still jump her.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god, it's so funny. So while all this is going on, we also are kind of privy to what Gabby's doing, and Gabby tells Forky her story that she was made malfunctioning, so she never had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
She
She
just
wants to be with Madison. What's her name?
Margaret maybe.
I know it starts with an M.
Hold on, I have it written down here somewhere.
We'll just call her
The
Madison.
little girl who
Yeah,
the granddaughter of the antique shop owner.
Yeah.
So she just wants to create memories of her own, right? She wants to be someone's toy. Again, this is like Woody, right? What's your purpose? A toy's purpose is
To create happiness for children.
exactly. And when you're broken, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So all she wants to do is create happiness.
Yes.
There's no malice to her story.
Plus, she doesn't even think she's good enough. She didn't even try until thought she was fixed. She thought she had to be fixed in order to help.
Yes. She again, this goes to confidence issues, right?
Yeah.
About people that have, imperfections.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of the motives of our quote unquote villain?
After that, I'm like, she's not so bad. She's not really a villain. I felt like at the start she kind of seemed like a villain because she seemed a little bit persistent about getting the voice box, but after a while you realize she's not really.
Yeah, she's so self confident, conscious about herself.
Yeah.
She's not There's no malice there. Like Lotso had malice. Like right, Sid was violent.
Yeah.
You know the even some of the other characters.
The one
in
guy
these
with the
movies,
gun thing.
the guy who took Woody from
Yeah.
Andy just because he was all about collecting, right?
Yeah.
So they're villainous. Where this one, she just wants to fulfill her purpose.
Yeah.
Now, is there any doubt that Woody was gonna willingly give his voice box at this point?
No. That was another nail in the coffin.
Oh my god! Like it was the undoubtable. So Woody and Bo go meet Duke Kaboom, the Canadian stuntman. What were your thoughts on him? Best character?
You know who voiced
Keanu Reeves, baby.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, who was amazing. You know what the year he's having?
Yeah, he's having a great year.
Oh my
Everyone's in love with him.
Oh my god, he's hilarious.
MCU's trying to recruit him. It's a big year for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, great character. Liked it, enjoyed it. It was funny. Got a little bit of his backstory, but
Oh my god. I think this is the best character other than Buzz and Woody in the entire franchise. Like we talk about, like he's hilarious. His backstory is great. How like his kid saw a commercial of him like doing this incredible jump, and like when he does his first jump over something like big,
It sucks.
It sucks. So the kid's like throws him away.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even want this.
I don't even want him. It's not my fault. What was the kid's name again?
Brian or some French name.
Yeah, oh my god, it was so good.
Jean Paul.
And then even the way he moved, like it was like he's like
yeah, because
he moved like a Lego man, like you'd see in like the Lego movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he just everything about him, like his demeanor, his voice, you know, the one thing Keanu Reeves does better than anyone else is that monotone, just like emotionless character. And it was perfect. So they're going to use Duke to jump across the store. And everything works except for Forky is still captured.
Yeah.
And everyone else barely escapes, especially the cat that's chasing them. Mm-hmm. But Woody's not ready to give up, even though everyone else is. And he's abandoned by everyone. Yeah. Bo leaves and calls out Woody for being selfish, who then Woody indirectly insults her back. Mm-hmm. And even Buzz says it's time. Whose side are you on? Everyone or Woody?
I was on Woody's side at this time.
Because
he was the better one. It made sense. He's got to get Forky. We know how important Forky is to thing, but people are like, kids move on from toys all the time.
But what's the job of a toy?
To make kids happy.
And what's Woody doing?
Trying to make a kid happy.
And Woody understands the importance of the formative years of a kid. Mm-hmm. And we even see, like, the spoiler to the ending that Forky's around a year later.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. I thought this was very, very well done. So Woody goes back into the antique shop, and Gabby tells Woody the whole story. And Woody says, I'll give you my voice box, just give me Forky. So again, look at the sacrifice that this toy gives. Like, this is like the sacrifice. Like, could you give a bigger sacrifice for a kid?
No.
And Gabby, because she's not the villain, keeps her word. And meanwhile, Buzz is able to get Bonnie and the parents to go back to the antique shop because Bonnie left her bag there when she went in. And when she returns to the antique shop, Woody and Forky go into the bag, and they're going to be saved. But while all this is going on, Gabby, who's now has a voice, pulls her string, and the little girl sees her and is like, I don't really want her.
Yeah. And then that's soul crushing.
Oh my god, soul crushing to everyone. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I'm watching that. I'm like,
Gabby,
because I don't think she's bad. She's
and I'm
just
like, she might become a villain after this. Now, that's what I thought she might.
But no, I didn't, because this is how Woody's gonna stay behind, right? Because
Mhm.
otherwise he's gone. But he needs
Yeah.
to see Bo Peep again to stay to so he can stay. But Woody is heartbroken. And again, I were you? Did you?
Yeah.
I
felt
was.
something
I think
I felt
everyone
bad
would.
for her.
So he
No.
leaves the backpack and tells Forky to get Buzz to meet at the merry-go-round. And Forky's like, "What's a merry-go-round?" And he's
Mhm.
like, "The thing in the middle that goes around." And he's like, "Oh, a carousel."
Yeah.
It's why that's funny to me, because like for Woody it would be a carousel, right? Like he's more
Yeah.
Western themed. Like that's
hmm
that's why I thought that was funny. So he talks to Gabby, and Gabby's like, "I'm done. Like no, you can have
Yeah.
you can have your voice box back." And Woody's
I
like,
don't
"No,
need it.
you're gonna find a kid. You're gonna come with us or come with me, and we're gonna go see Bonnie. Bonnie will love you." And she's like, "Fine." And Bo Peep arrives, and Bo Peep's like, "Oh," she realizes that Woody wasn't actually
Yeah.
selfish.
I love you, Woody. Blah blah
And
blah.
she goes back, and they
Kiss and
save,
hug.
and she saves them,
Mhm.
and they all go back to the carousel, and the toys are able to get the RV back by pretending to be the GPS, and then when
Yeah.
that fails, they
start
they
driving.
start
the
driving
car.
this rental car, and then the cop pulls them over.
And the guy's like, "Oh,
And they lock him out.
I'm gonna get the dad arrested."
The pony did get the dad arrested.
Mhm.
Was that too much?
What the
The toys taking over the car?
a little bit weird. They thought the car was tripping out, so it's not totally.
Did you think that overall that the toys we're getting too much toys, like too much toys actions in the real world?
I think this is. I mean, after anything more than this, I'd be okay. This is a little bit much, but this is as far as it can go for me, personally.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a kids movie, so I let it go,
Mhm.
but it is a little bit too much. So Woody and Bo they get to the camper. Woody says goodbye to Bo, and on the way I forgot an important part. On the
Gabby
way,
finds
Gabby sees this lost girl who's crying, and Gabby's like, "I want to go to this girl.
Yeah,
I think this is the one." And she goes to him, and then the girl takes and accepts Gabby, and it's a really
good.
beautiful scene.
Yeah, see, there's plenty of fish in the sea, Gabby.
Did you get emotional at it at all?
No, not that part. I was happy for her.
I was.
guess
I got
it
emo- I was. I got a little emotional. I didn't cry, but I was emotional. It was a good
Okay.
scene. And then they meet up with the RV, and Woody says goodbye to Bo, and then as he's walking to the camper and to Buzz, he realizes Buzz says she'll be okay, and then says Bonnie will be okay,
Mhm.
and Woody decides to stay, and Bo Peep's very happy that he stays, and Woody says goodbye to all of the toys.
Yeah.
The last one being to Buzz and take care of everyone. And were you okay
That's
with
it.
this?
Yeah, I'm super okay with that.
I'm
dude.
not. I didn't like the ending.
I'm like, good. Hopefully this ends and there's no more after this. They need to end the series, and this is as far as it can go.
See, but your logic is flawed. They're not. It would have been harder to make a 4. It's an easy 5. 5 is easy to make. A Toy Story 5, a Toy Story. It's easier now, because now there's no. This movie doesn't end on the sad note. This movie ends on 2 happy notes, because after that we get our credit scenes where it's a year later, and Jesse, who now has Woody's badge, was at first grade, and Bonnie's made another toy who is like Forky's love interest now. So we see everything's good there. And then Woody in the carnival, him and Bo and Ducky and Bunny and Duke Kaboom, they're all saving toys or finding toys homes. So like it's more of a happy ending than the third one was. So you telling me you can't make a movie with Bonnie still?
I guess you could.
Like you don't need
But
Woody to make the movie.
You're missing Woody and you're missing Buzz, and those.
No, Buzz, you won't be missing Buzz. You only
No,
be
but
missing
in
Woody.
in one of the two, if you go with Woody's route, you're missing Buzz. If you go with Buzz's route,
You're
missing
right.
Woody. And I think you need both of them together in order to make the movie.
No, that's our bias from being around for the first movie, but movies evolve.
Yeah.
Look
I
at the
don't know.
Avengers movies; they're moving on without Cap and Iron
Yeah,
Man.
but we don't know if it's gonna be good or not.
Yeah, that's true.
So
You're right on that. But
we'll see what happens.
But movies can evolve and TV shows evolve with it losing major characters. Will it be tough? Absolutely. But I would not be if I heard tomorrow that they're making a Toy Story 5, sorry, I wouldn't be angry. I would be like, okay, because I could see potential. They could do a lot of things. Now they can't ruin it anymore, right? Woody's gone. They did the worst thing. So
Yeah.
now it's just all gravy at this point. I guess that leaves me to the question is, does this ending take away from the ending of Toy Story 3?
Yeah, it's over.
I
It suffers. The Toy Story 3 ended so perfectly, and we can't get like
I agree
Toy
with
Story
you.
4 is as good as it could get.
I agree. I think Toy Story 3 ended one of the best endings of any movie. Like, again, we started this episode or this movie talking about how emotional Toy Story 3's ending was, and it takes away from it a lot, I think, because like that was the closure. This movie isn't closure. This movie isn't.
Yeah,
This
well, it's
movie,
closure with Andy now. Now it's just
No,
a new
but
adventure.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Toy Story 3 gave us closure with every character.
Yeah.
Toy Story 4 is all about new beginnings.
Mhm.
And I think that's a really important aspect to it. And I do think we can go places from here. I'd be excited for a Toy Story 5 now. As long as they don't bring Woody back. If they brought Woody back, I'd be disappointed. Because I think then now they're just pushing it for no reason.
Yeah. Okay.
But I really like this movie. Like you said, for what they could have done, they could not have made this movie any better.
No.
And the ending, as much as I don't like it, it had to end this way. The movie that they wrote had to end this way. There's no other ending that could have worked.
Yeah.
If Woody doesn't go, it doesn't work. If Bo comes with them, it doesn't work.
Yeah, honestly.
Because it's all about a toy's purpose.
Yeah.
That's what this movie was about.
His purpose was fulfilled.
Exactly. So he was going to find another purpose. His new purpose is to be the selfless toy that he is and saving other toys at a carnival.
Oh, yeah.
So one more question that I have before we do ratings. Would you rather see Toy Story 5 with Woody or Toy Story 5 with Buzz, and why?
Probably Buzz, because I like more aspect of them, and I like the toys there more. I like all the characters more from the original cast more than, like, I like Bo Peep, and Kaboom's not that big of a deal for me, so I'd probably more. Yeah, I'd go more with Buzz.
I would go with Woody, and I'll tell you why. I think you can have better themes with that. We've been in the bedroom. We've been in the bedroom for a movie. Like, you're limited. The world building has increased astronomically.
Yeah.
And I think you can get better stories with Woody than you can.
But I think they'll interfere more with the what's it called? With the toys interfering in real life. So I feel like that would be more with the Woody side than the Buzz side.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to talk about with this movie?
no, I'm good.
What would you give this movie out of 10?
I'll give this a 9.5 out of 10.
It's funny. I give it a 9.5 out of 10.
Wow.
And I take 0.5 away because of the ending. I give Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 all 10 out of 10s.
Ooh, and it's 0.5 for this one.
Because of but again, it's a little bit of, I'll be honest, there's a little bias with it, but I stick with the fact that in reality, the story of Woody and Buzz are done. Could you continue one of their stories? Absolutely, but the story of Woody and Buzz, that friendship,
Is over.
is over, and I didn't like the ending of it. I really didn't. But
Fair
anyway,
enough.
all right, I'm getting emotional just thinking about this ending, so let's move on.
Let's do it.
You're not emotional at all, are you?
Not really.
You're heartless, man. Heartless.
I'm not heartless. I just sometimes it's time to move on, you know. And they could always see each other. They go on vacation there, so
That's true. But the carnival moves all the time, though. Let's talk about Child's Play.
yeah.
So this is a second, kind of remake / sequel. Like Shaft is the same title. This is the same title as another movie from the
Yeah.
80s. What were your opening thoughts on Child's Play?
This is another movie I thought was gonna be bad. but it ended up being surprisingly pretty good. I like their take on Chucky a lot more than the other take on Chucky because it makes me. I haven't seen the original Child's Play, but it just makes me feel like this one would be a little bit more realistic in the way that it's like the toy is killing people. A lot more believable, and the kids were great. The cast was pretty decent in this, I'd assume. But Mark Hamill takes the cake for best voice actor alive. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I was impressed. I was very, very impressed. I thought it was a great slasher movie, and what I really liked about it, like dolls are creepy, and you know our world's changed a lot, right? Like you look at the old Annabelle dolls, like those were big in the 1800s and early 1900s, right? Before like the more modern action figure toy.
Yeah.
So like you gotta hold your little believability a little bit when you think of like dolls being popular toys, but you know, I like how they decided to update this movie. So the original movies, it's about a possessed doll. This movie's not about a possessed doll. No. This movie is about kind of more of a Black Mirror kind of thing, where there's these buddy dolls out there that are like Siri, except for Siri or Google, OK Google or Alexa, but as like an Android version of it.
Yeah.
And they all have safety protocols, and they run the house, or they run all of Can's Land like kind of products. I kind of really got an iRobot meets Black Mirror kind of vibe to this movie.
Yeah, this movie is a better episode of any episode of Black Mirror that came out for the 5th season.
Yeah, fair enough.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's not dark, but anyway, let's talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
I know, I'm just saying, but yeah, that's a good point that it is like a Black Mirror episode.
What this movie did a really good job of, though, is not taking itself seriously.
Yeah.
If this movie took itself seriously, it would have failed miserably. But it made it believable in the world. At no time, like I was in a bunch of other movies I've seen this year or in the past, being like, are you bloody kidding me? Like, that would never that kid would never do that. No, that kid's not going back in that house. I never felt that in this movie.
Yeah, no kid made a dumb, like, idea. Like,
no adult either.
Yeah.
Nobody made this stupid slasher movie decision where you're like, are you bloody kidding me?
Let me just get myself killed, you know? Also, no one really knew what was happening or had an idea of what was going on.
And some of the death scenes were really cool.
Yeah.
And lastly, the star of the show, as Xavier pointed out, Mark Hamill. His voice acting is incredible. So this movie kind of begins with a premise, right? Because the movie starts with the CEO of Kazlan Industries talking about the, the buddy, this new device. And to explain Kazlan, I guess it would be like Apple. They have
it's
tons
like
of
Apple,
different
Google
products.
Or something like that.
And basically this buddy thing is like an all-in-one. Like it can control all of the...
And it's a toy.
Yeah, it can control all of the Kazlan appliances. It's a babysitter. It's a kid's toy. It's like Siri. I don't know how to better describe it. And Kazlan tells this that sets up the entire movie. Like all of this sets it up. It's all this dialogue. Did you like the start?
Not like the start. It explained. I'm like, okay, so right away then and there, I'm like, okay, so it's not going to be possessed. It's definitely going to be an issue. And that's where you kind of get the sense of the Black Mirror thing. Whenever you have something that can control all your, it sets up for everything what Chucky's gonna do, which they bring into the movie later as well.
Well, and that's kind of how Chucky gets emerged, right? And if we start the movie in a factory in Vietnam where there's a lazy worker who gets fired. He says, "Finish this last product and then get off." And what he does is he turns off all the safety protocols. He kind of creates this doll that isn't up to spec. And then after he does that, he commits suicide.
He kills himself.
Was the suicide necessary?
I mean, obviously, clearly he hated his life. He's working in a factory and he just got fired. If it was me, I wouldn't even finish making. I'm like, I'm fired. Why would I work? I'd just leave.
Yeah. So would I. So would I.
But some people are very spiteful and they decide, hey, let me just make something that could murder a bunch of people. And so it doesn't get traced back to me. I'm just going to kill myself.
That's very true.
Hates his life, so it happens.
And we
It's
know
sad.
and the kind of the shop foreman said that he was a bum before that, right? He gave him a
Yeah.
shot, like you go back to the streets, like
Yeah,
there was
so
there was nothing else for him, no job,
Mhm.
no
no
family,
family,
yeah.
just eating out of garbage.
What I really liked about this rendition though of Child's Play is that it's not supernatural scary. It's real scary.
Yeah.
Because something like this could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is not like a figment of our imagination. Like Child's Play was a figment of your imagination. Like a doll ain't coming to life. I'm sorry.
But a technology can, especially with all this AI technology
Yes.
being made.
Yes. Yes.
Global warming doesn't kill us. The robots definitely
The
will.
robot apocalypse is coming.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I don't.
I think this is the
believe that.
premise of what it's called, Terminator as well, right? Didn't they have an app that had connect everything?
Skylabs or Skynet. Sorry.
The Skynet app, and then they killed everybody.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's not looking good so far.
So we meet the Barclays. We have Karen, who's a single mom of a 13-year-old kid named Andy. She works at Zedmart, which I assume is like a Walmart.
Walmart,
Yeah.
Target.
And then we have Andy. He's an awkward kid. He's deaf / hearing impaired. I don't actually know which one. Like, is he fully? I don't think he's fully deaf.
No.
They're poor because his hearing aids are kind of malfunctioning.
Yeah.
He has no friends. They live in a poor area of Chicago, and they just moved into the building.
Yeah. They're brand new, trying to make friends, can't really. Glued to his phone.
Do we get enough backstory for these two in this movie?
Not at the moment, because I wasn't sure that it was his mom until like later on in the movie.
Not even that, but like there's a picture when he's actually talking to Chucky later on of like, I would think that his dad was in it, but we don't actually get an explanation.
We don't know who that is.
Like we don't really know why dad's not in the picture. I feel like there needed to be a lot more backstory.
Yeah.
Or at least I would have liked a lot more backstory. What were your initial thoughts of Mom's new boyfriend, Shane?
Oh, he's a dickhead.
Right off the bat, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, no doubt.
Yeah, like I'm like, this guy, I'm like, I wonder if Chucky's gonna kill him. I got my answer soon.
Yeah, right? So, that takes us to the Buddy doll. So, working at Zedmart, our main character, Karen, gets a lot of returns. And someone returns his Buddy doll who's not working quite well. He's kind of like stuttering. He's got red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Like things aren't right. So I want a new one. And Buddy 2's coming out too, right? The second tier, like the new version of the Apple iPhone's coming out. So Karen's like to the boss, like, what happens to all these Chucky dolls? And boss is like, they probably get incinerated back at Kazlan.
Yeah.
She's like, can I have this one? And he's kind of like, no, I don't think so. She's like, I know about the woman you're sleeping with. That's not your wife. So she blackmails him into getting the doll. And she gives the doll to Andy for his birthday gift. And we know that earlier in the movie that Andy's really big on this doll, right? He really wanted one?
No, I thought he said it was for kids.
Yeah, after he says that, but but earlier on when he's actually like on his phone, like searching for like looking at videos of
it looked like he just looked at memes of Buddy dolls doing
maybe
like,
that's what it was.
things.
Maybe that's what it was.
So
So
it was like humping something.
so she gets
Sorry.
it's true though.
Jerry gave me a look when I said that. I couldn't help but laugh.
Is it bad? Does that show like Karen's a bad character for blackmailing her boss?
Not really. I don't think she's terrible. I
don't think so either. I think that she's
just trying to help her kid.
Yeah, and she's poor, and like her kid's cell phone's like screen
has a crack in
yeah,
it.
it's destroyed. Her kid has no ear.
I can't talk to people with cracked phone screens. They seem like weird sociopaths.
Yeah, right. And then like on top of that, hearing aids don't work.
Yeah.
Like now he gets this reused Buddy. Like
yeah.
Like I get it. I
wonder how much that thing would cost. Easily like
why do you think
$800.
why do you think Andy's not excited for it? Like, isn't it cool? Like,
I don't know. I wouldn't want a toy like that. Well,
why?
at that age, not really. What could it do?
It runs your household.
Yeah. Like, what kid wants to have a doll that runs the household?
He has no friends.
Yeah, but like I'd rather have an Xbox or something.
You can't afford an Xbox. But here's the question: do you have friends?
No,
Yeah, I know. So why wouldn't you want Buddy then?
because I just play with my online friends and
You
the ones in my head. So that's.
I have an abundance of friends.
Oh, look at this guy, Mr. Popular.
I know.
You're like those kids in kindergarten that like, how many friends have you made? Well, I made 500. Hey, kid. There's freaking 30 kids in the class. We all know you're a damn liar.
Yeah, the difference is I actually have friends. Anyways, I don't. You're right. I wouldn't want Buddy, but if let's say I'm a little bit introverted, so let's say I had to move into a new area, I would love someone to talk to, someone to bounce ideas off of. You know, like I'm not gonna lie, it would be I as at my age I would be fine with it. Like I'd be cool with it. Anyways, initially Andy is annoyed by Buddy.
Yeah.
Who actually, when giving him a name, wants to call him something else. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna call me Chucky."
Chucky.
So-
I think that was just, throwback to the original.
So he's annoyed by him. He's a little creeped out by him.
Yeah, he is creepy though.
And like, well, everybody
sings the
has their own
song.
name though, right? It's not no
Yeah.
one's named Buddy, right? They give them
Mhm.
their own name, but he's like, "I'm gonna call myself Chucky."
Yeah.
Uh,
And he makes the weirdest faces.
But soon the two bond, right? And I think they bond over a couple reasons. We have the stutter, the malfunctioning of Chucky, which
Yeah.
I think that Andy can really relate to as he's
Then
malfunctioning.
when he repeats the messed up things that he says, like,
Mm.
"You're a dickhead," and then moves his head like that.
They play
I guess.
games together. They scare Shane together. Chucky helps Andy make two new friends, Fawn and Pug. And he really, at the end of the day, he fills a void in the life of Andy. Like, overall, like, that void.
Mm-hmm. The loneliness.
However, as all this is going on, Chucky starts to display some violent tendencies.
Yeah, he chokes out a cat.
But mostly to protect Andy, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, he chokes up the cat because the cat scratches
Scratched
Andy and
Andy.
causes him to bleed.
Yeah, and then he's watching. I'm not gonna lie.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre
Yeah,
2.
he's watching that TV show. I couldn't stop laughing.
And
He's like, he just grabs the knife and he's like has that face. And
Yeah, he's quote unquote pretending to try to stab him, but he doesn't understand at this point in the movie that that's not cool.
That could kill people.
So he
Chucky was
apologized.
just
I'm
so
sorry, I
cute.
didn't know. And then he actually kills the cat.
Yeah.
Why
With
doesn't
the
Andy
knife?
turn Chucky in? To the parents, to the cops, to Kazlan.
Well, he didn't like the cat, so he thought it was just an accident.
And Chucky plays the thing, the voice of Andy actually saying that you don't like the cat. I don't like the cat.
And then he's like, "I'm sorry, Andy. I won't do anything like that ever again. I won't murder anybody ever again."
Yeah, he
wink,
did-
wink.
But now, is he wrong to believe this? Like is he wrong to, like, at any point? Is there any point you're like, Andy, what the hell are you thinking?
I don't think he's wrong. He's just right now it's an animal. It hasn't been a person yet.
And you don't like
And
the cat, like you said.
He doesn't like the cat. I feel like I don't think he would have turned it in. He's like, you know what? This is my friend. I gotta protect him. He's my homie.
Would you have turned him in?
Yeah, I probably would have turned him in.
I don't like cats, so I don't know if I would have.
Well, yeah, okay. So
If it was
this
a
is
dog,
okay.
you
Okay,
better
so
believe.
cats are okay to get murdered, but not dogs.
Yeah,
This
pretty
guy's a
much.
fake animal lover.
I'm not a fake. I only like I'm a dog lover
Okay.
and like a tiger lover. Like I don't want to kill a tiger, but like a cat, yeah.
Okay.
So
Freaking hater.
now the boyfriend Shane, Andy doesn't like him from the moment we
Yeah.
first see him. Anytime Andy walks into a room and Shane's there, he walks out of the room.
Yeah, he leaves.
He ends up like going to sit like in the hallway and meet like the
Yeah.
police officer.
Policeman.
So Shane is clearly annoyed by this, and one day he decides to call out Andy in his room.
Yeah, which
He
is
ends up
messed
pushing him on his bed. Like
Yeah.
he's violent. He's a dick. Like that's
Yeah,
the
I'm
best
like,
way to
what's
describe
wrong
him.
with this guy?
Now Chucky sees the whole thing and his eyes turn red.
And he's like,
So
I'm gonna kill this guy.
Chucky decides to go into his truck.
Mhm.
But like in like the bed of his truck. And Shane drives home, and when Shane goes to his actual house, we find out that Shane is married with twins.
2 kids.
Are you surprised by
No, I
this?
wasn't surprised.
Not even a little bit. Like that's like just
Typical dickhead behavior.
When we were watching the movie in theaters, and I'm like, I see him like pull up, and I see like the family in the window. I'm like, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I said Siobhan, and I'm like, I'm not surprised at all. So Shane is told by his wife to take down the Christmas decorations because the guests were like January, February, or something like that. And as he's taking them down on the ladder kind of gives
Falls
out,
down.
and he ends up shattering his leg,
His
like
femur bones.
just breaks.
Those are some very weak bones. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
He did not drink his milk.
Yeah, no.
He needs some milk.
So he's trying to go get his phone and call for help, but as he's doing it, they're in like a watermelon patch, and the tiller that kind of makes that goes through the dirt is turned on by Chucky and drives right over the skull of Shane.
Yeah, well, he's trying to hold it, and then Stucky just stabs him for good measure.
13 times.
Crushes his head. He's like, yeah!
What are your thoughts on this sequence?
It was funny.
Hilarious.
Chucky's great. The death scenes are funny, and just seeing Chucky like, hey, I'm gonna... says some weird one-liner and just stabs the crap out of him.
It's so funny, and Shane gets what he deserves.
Yeah.
So the next morning, Andy wakes up, and he walks out of his room, and he notices kind of that on his counter is a watermelon that has Shane's head on it. That's nailed
Shane's
to
face, not his head.
his face. Sorry, because his face was like cut right off and shaved
yeah.
off his.
Messed up.
So messed up. Because right from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, right?
Yeah.
So he notices it, and he's like, he loses it. He calls Fallon and Pug and says, "What do we do?" Mm-hmm. So they wrap up the face in like wrapping paper, and the mom catches them as they're leaving. Now, is this the right decision to wrap up the?
No, but they're panic mode. You don't think straight. You're
Yeah,
just like,
there's
what
a
the hell
dead
do we do?
man's face.
We have to hide this face, and we gotta figure it
and
out.
a doll did it. Who's gonna believe a doll did this?
I probably would have put it in a garbage bag and just thrown it in there.
That-
Garbage bag, tie, and throw it in.
Yeah. But they're panicking because they're kids. They're 13-year-olds. It makes
Yeah.
sense. So the mom's like, "Can I see who's the present for?" And they think, "Oh, the lady across the hall because
She helps me with my homework.
Yeah." And the mom's like, "Oh, I want to see you deliver it." So she goes to the lady and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna open this now." And he's like, "No, it's my birthday in a week. Open it then. That gives me a week to figure this out." Yeah.
And then after that, they end Chucky's life.
Yeah, they destroy Chucky. They rip out his battery.
Yeah, which
And
is sad. Because Chucky's like, Andy, I'm sorry. I felt bad.
Andy couldn't do it though.
Yeah.
It has to be Pug and Fallon that do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they throw him down the chute.
Yeah, and then
The
the
garbage
creepy
chute.
dude.
So
Is that Josh?
Chucky is
dad?
discovered by Gabe. No, it's not. And is Gabe the superintendent?
I don't know. He's like the creepy security guard.
The guy who I don't know. I thought he was a superintendent. We don't actually know his role, but he's creepy.
Yeah, he has cameras in everybody's house.
Yes,
and
we
he
find that out.
watches
He's
people
been
take
spying on
showers.
everyone. Well, he grabs Chucky, or he calls him Buddy because he doesn't know his name's Chucky
Yeah.
yet. And he says, "Oh, I can sell you." So he orders another battery from Kazlan, and he's gonna fix him up, open him up to fix him.
Yeah.
And while he's fixing him, we see that Chucky is watching Andy at dinner
Mm-hmm.
at the old lady's house, who happens to be the police officer's mom.
Yeah.
And after dinner, he grabs the watermelon or the
Chucks it down.
chucks it down, and like, we're done with it.
Yeah.
I'm done with it. It's over now. But the lady had accidentally said that you're gonna be like a friend because
Yeah, you're my best friend.
he helped her with like an Uber app.
Mm-hmm.
And Chucky is like, "Nope. You can only have one best friend."
And that's me.
Me.
Oh, I can't say that.
So after Chucky is fixed, his first thing is to kill Gabe. Do you have a problem with this scene?
What, him killing Gabe?
Yes.
No.
See, I do. What is Chucky's MO in this movie?
Kill everybody.
No. Who does he kill?
People that are attacking Gabe. I mean Andy.
Exactly. So why Gabe? Gabe gave him a new lease on life. Why I don't like this scene, like at all.
I think Gabe should have died.
Like, don't get me wrong, it's a cool death scene, but now agreed. He should have died because he's a creepy man.
Yeah, but he has cameras. Maybe he watches Andy take showers. You know, he's an
Maybe
intelligent
that's true.
person, so
Maybe that's what it is.
He has to kill him. He's like, listen, this guy's sick. He watched my kid take showers. He's dying.
That could be right. It's a cool death scene though.
Yeah.
Holding on to like the heat thing, and then he gets
just
cut.
turns it up. And he's like,
Turns up the
"Turn
heat."
it down." He just keeps it.
And then he loses his leg
That's
on
the
like the
ET.
mortar saw.
Yeah.
So
That's
good.
the ET finger.
Yes, I like that ET. A little reference ET. That's good. Now, the problem that Chucky has right now is he's killed 2 people, but for the audience perspective, like the 2 people deserve to die. Like you're like, go Chucky, you keep doing what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to turn him bad, he has to kill the nicest person in the movie.
Yeah.
The
I
old
felt
lady.
so bad for this lady. She's like,
So
oh, I'm gonna get my Uber.
So Chucky gives himself to another kid in the store, Omar, and then he starts tormenting Andy, like showing him videos and and everyone thinks Andy's whacked, right?
Mm-hmm.
He loses all of his friends. His mom thinks he's whacked,
Mm-hmm.
and he ends up stealing Omar's phone and like kind of downloads the Chucky app to see what he's up to, and he sees that Chucky is creeping Doreen, who's getting her first ride program or for little Uber Lyft, but it's like a no driver Uber.
Yeah, it's a no driver, and she's like, "Ooh, I got my Uber,"
and she's so happy, and she finally gets to the bingo hall, and then like Chucky takes
like,
her.
Check out my ride, y'all.
And then Chucky takes
It's
her to a
gonna
parking
kill
lot
me.
and kills her.
Oh, she did.
Mike, her son, the police officer, takes this very hard.
Yeah.
At the same time, they find the watermelon head.
Mm-hmm.
So his solution is to arrest Andy.
Yeah, because this kid's guilty AF.
Are you okay with that? He's
Honestly?
13-year-old.
Honestly, that's the only thing I was like, this is kind of iffy, because at the point when he's arresting Andy in the shop, he's like, I want to speak to my son. And he's like, no, you can't. I'm like, yes, you can. He's a minor, and you're arresting him for no reason.
Yes, with no evidence.
Yeah, like, so.
Yeah, I'm with you.
No,
I didn't like. That's the one scene I didn't like. I really didn't like in this movie.
But I kind of understood where he's coming from.
Yeah,
'cause
his mom just died.
so he's not thinking straight.
And you should be investigating your own mom's death.
Yeah, that's true. You probably wouldn't be allowed to do that
Yeah.
either, because of bias.
So, and yeah, why would you think that the kid would be killing your mom though? I don't get
Because
that.
he saw the present.
Yeah, no, but the head was a present. But why did that? How did he make the connection to the mom?
He's probably like, because I think the kid was kind of sketchy to him the whole time, right? He was
Maybe.
being weird.
So at Zedmart, they're about to unveil the Chucky doll or the Buddy Doll Volume 2.
Yeah, the funniest death is about to come.
Oh, really? Okay. So Buddy 2 is about to be released, and Chucky kills the guy that's dressed up as Buddy 2 by like
Who was the
stabbing him
original
right
boss.
through the neck.
He's also the guy that got blackmailed.
Yeah, the boss. And as he gets stabbed through the neck, he's like
just,
bleeding out.
walking around
He
like
like
this.
pulls off his head, and like the bleeds are right into a girl's face.
And he's still kind of alive, though. The guy's like, oh, crap, hey, let me help you. I'm like, yeah, okay, because Andy did that, so you probably think Andy's, like, not guilty anymore.
Mm-hmm. So Chucky ends up taking like possession of like all of the Kazlan like property. So like some of the Buddy 2 dolls, some of the drones, other aspects of it. Like closes all of the
Doors.
The doors. So
Traps
people
everyone.
like panic. They leave. Unfortunately, Andy's been like chained or handcuffed to like I guess like some kind of
It's a cart, shopping cart, but he gets saved.
Yeah, but I think that's the reason, right? Like he has to that's why he has to be arrested to kind of keep him occupied.
Mm-hmm.
Fallon and Pug end up and Omar, they end up realizing that that Andy's right, he's not crazy, that Chucky is actually still alive, and they go to save him, but his mom has been captured. So he basically kicks them out locks them out of the building.
He's like, this is my fight.
And he goes to save his mom. and he will eventually kill
It's the
Chucky at the same
final.
time.
Yeah, it's the final confrontation.
Yep.
They kill Chucky.
And then all the kids together rip him apart and burn him to the ground.
Yeah.
Were you satisfied with the ending?
Yeah, I was happy. Why not? You
Yeah.
gotta. They thought they beat Chucky the first time he came back, so obviously they're gonna burn him to.
Yeah.
They learned their lesson. Smart decision.
Yes. And like even like the cop who got hurt as well from one of the drones, and the mom who kind of got almost hanged.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're kind of like,
Hinted at to get together.
which we thought at the beginning of the movie
Yeah.
too. What was your favorite death sequence? Was the boss?
Yeah, the boss.
Mine was
or-
Shane. Mine was Shane. It's not even close. The tiller to the head, the
Oh.
the bone breaking.
Yeah.
So good. Actually, almost any death you can't go wrong with of the major
Yeah.
deaths. There was like what, 3 major deaths, 4 major
Mhm.
deaths. They were all pretty good. Would you like to see a sequel?
They probably would make a sequel if it does well. I'm okay with this not being a sequel because I felt like it was happy. If it's done well, though, I could see this working.
I am good with a sequel under a few conditions. Condition number 1, I don't see any character from this movie.
Okay.
If I
Yeah.
see a character from this movie, I don't want a sequel.
Mhm.
Tell me another story about another person that dealt with this robot.
Mhm.
Number 2, I don't want the same story. I don't want some kid who has a disability. I want a
Yeah.
different story.
Okay.
You satisfy both those conditions. I am all for a sequel. I encourage a sequel because
Okay.
there's nothing like a good creepy doll.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about with this movie?
Not really.
No. All right. What are you giving this movie out of 10?
I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10.
You reading my notes
8,
today,
8,
Xavier?
9.5. That's me.
We're really close today. Like we're like,
Oh.
I went 8 again. I'm with you on this one. I'd recommend this movie. I think if you like slasher movies, you'll like this movie.
I kinda
If
wanna
you like
see
horror
this
movies,
one.
you'll like this movie. If you like comedy horror, you'll like this movie. Like there's nothing really bad about this movie. The only reason I gave it an 8 is because of like its genre doesn't really like.
Yeah, the genre's not like complicated.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go. Whoa, this
For-
is crazy.
Yeah, and it could have cleaned itself up a little bit. Better backstories with the
Yeah.
with the family, more character development. Like I feel like this movie could have been an extra 15 minutes and I would have liked it. And although I was satisfied with the ending of the movie, I didn't love the ending of the movie. Like Chucky goes to hang the mom.
Yeah.
Like
Why?
pardon?
It's good. He's a killer.
No, yeah, but like
Stab. Hang her and then stab her 13 times. That's what he was gonna do.
yeah, I guess. But I didn't love it.
Okay.
All right, so that's it for that's it for the movies. Let's go on to the trivia. So
Alright.
Xavier, about a month ago, I asked Xavier questions, 20 of them, and how we did it was I gave him 3 actors, and he had to tell me the movie that connected the 3 actors. So this time, Xavier's going to do the same thing to me. He's going to give me 3 actors, and then I'm going to try to figure out I'm going to try to see if I can figure out the movie that connects the 3 actors. So Xavier, I'm just gonna do
Oh,
that.
why are you looking at that?
I wasn't. All right, so Xavier, what is your first question?
Listen, relax. Okay, I'm trying to get myself set up here.
Okay.
Obviously, clearly, I am not prepared. So
Are you ever?
let me get prepared. Okay. So the first question in this challenge is Jack. So the first actor is Jack Klugman, Jack Warden, and Lee J. Cobb.
I don't know any of these 3 actors.
Would you like a hint?
No, I want the last actor's name first.
Nope. Hint first.
No, I want the last actor. Why can't I have the last?
L.
I want the. He already
Lee
gave me the
J.
actors.
Cobb.
Lee. Sorry, can you repeat that?
Lee J. Cobb.
Cobb. I don't keep on thinking Inception, but that's the actor, not the character.
Jack.
Character, not the actor.
Jack Warden.
All right, I need a hint because I do not know.
Tagline: It explodes like 12 sticks of dynamite.
I honestly have no idea.
Would you like a second hit?
No.
Okay. What about Henry Fonda?
No, that doesn't help me. I don't know. I don't know any. I don't know any of the actors.
Okay. 12 Angry Men in 1957.
No, I would have only. No.
You haven't seen that one?
If you gave me Henry Fonda as one of the three actors, I might have gotten it. But I wouldn't have gotten that movie.
Okay.
I didn't know any of the other actors.
Let's
Jack
try.
Lemmon played Oscar.
That doesn't help me. I don't know any. I can't tell you another movie any of the actors were in to put a picture to the face.
Okay, let me try this
All
one.
right,
Number
give me another
2.
one.
Dom DeLuise.
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 Louise.
Dom DeLuise.
Okay.
Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
Corey Elwes. I don't know how to say it. Elves.
Carrie or Corey?
Corey.
Corey.
I don't know who Corey Elves is.
Of course you do.
Are you talking about Princess Bride Carrie Elves?
Correct.
So Carrie, I am right. It is Carrie, not Corey.
Carrie.
Okay, see, throwing me off with names. So Carrie,
Sorry.
Patrick Stewart, Dom DeLuise. Huh. Okay. It's not Princess Bride. I need a hint. I have no idea.
It says Roger Reese. Brackets Roddenham.
No idea.
Fun fact: Dave Chappelle played as Achu.
I have no idea.
Okay, number 2, Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
I've
1993.
never seen that movie, so there's no way I was getting that.
I thought that was. What was the Robin Hood?
Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner.
Oh, okay.
I've never seen Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, okay. All right, number 3. Woody Harrelson, John C. Riley, George Clooney.
George Clooney and Woody Harrelson in a movie together. John C. Riley and George. I can't picture John C. Riley and George Clooney in a movie together. It's not any of the Ocean's movies. It's not Oh Brother Where Art Thou, because only Clooney was in that. Could it be From Dusk Till Dawn?
No.
All right, I need a.
The hint tagline: Every man fights his own war. I'll give you another hint too. Sean Penn is in this.
No idea.
The Thin Red Line.
No, I haven't seen that movie.
1998.
I haven't seen that movie either.
What? I thought you were the movie expert.
Yeah, you're finding movies I've never seen. That's good. They're good clues. I haven't seen the movies.
Okay. This one should be good. Sharon Stone, Don Rickles, Joe Pesci.
This movie I've seen. This is my favorite Martin Scorsese's movie.
Oh.
It takes place in probably one of my favorite cities to visit, in one of my favorite places to go, Casino.
Yeah. Okay. This one's all done. All right. Next one. Michael Madsen,
Okay.
Chris Penn, Steve Buscemi. I don't know if I said it right.
Okay. Another movie I've seen. I'm not a big fan of this movie as much as I am of some of the other movies that Quentin Tarantino has directed. But I think this might have been his first movie he directed. Was this his first?
First big one.
First big one. The interesting thing is all of the characters are named after colors. Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah. There you go. Here we go. He's getting it out. Okay. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Keep your things facing your way. I don't want to look at them. There you go.
Freaking idiot boy. Okay. David Morse, Michael Jeter, Tom Hanks.
What was the first name?
David Morse. I don't know if I said it right.
You said it correct.
Okay.
Okay, well, I don't know who the first two actors are. Tom Hanks and Jeter in a movie together. Okay. I'm going to go Green. No, I can't see it being the Green Mile because there's way bigger actors in there that I would know their names. I don't think it's Angels and Demons because
Oh.
could have gotten something else. Trying to go through Tom Hanks movies. I don't know. I may not have seen this one. I'll go Green Mile, but I don't think I'm right.
You're right.
Really? Of all
The Green Mile. If I said tagline, walk a mile, you'll never forget, or Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan, I would have gotten
Yeah,
it
would
for
have
sure.
got it.
Or his wife in it, I would have gotten it.
Okay.
Or like the bad person and the guy from House. Played George Washington and John Adams. Anyway, continue.
Okay, this one is Greg Ferguson, Christian Wiig, Gerard Butler. I'll give you.
I don't
give
want
you a
to
hint.
yet.
This is okay.
So Craig Ferguson,
Yeah,
like Craig, like the comedian.
yeah.
Kristen Wiig. And who's the first?
Gerard Butler.
Okay, Gerard Butler. Let's go Gerard Butler movies here. So it's not going to be Phantom of the Opera. It's not going to be Olympus Has Fallen or London Has Fallen because Kristen Wiig, I can't see being in either of those movies. Definitely not Craig Ferguson. Gerard Butler, what else has he been in? Not 300. Oh, is it P.S. I Love You?
No. Would you like a hint?
Well, go ahead.
It's an animation.
Oh, no. I thought we agreed no animated movies, man.
How to Train Your Dragon. I did not make this list. We all know I'm not.
No animated movies. I'm not taking the negative for that
Yeah,
one.
you're taking the negative.
No chance. Xavier, as someone who was here last month, did we not agree that no animated movies were on this?
I don't remember what we agreed to. We'd have to
Go to the tape? I would love to go to the
gotta
tape.
Go to the tape.
VAR.
Continue.
Roll it up. Okay. All right. So what one am I on?
8.
8. Okay, 8. Christopher Walken, Queen Latifah, Nikki Blansky.
I'm a big fan. I love musicals, and this is one of my favorite musicals. Good Morning Baltimore, You Can't Stop the Beat are two of my favorite songs from this musical. I could rock out to You Can't Stop the Beat at any given time. Hairspray.
There you go. Okay. Number 9, Peter Dinklage, Mary Steenburgen, my bad, Bob Newhart.
Bob Newhart hasn't been in a movie in so long. The hell movie stars Bob Newhart? Huh. Bob Newhart. I have no idea.
It is, I think, Elf.
Hint. Give him a hint. Cotton-headed ninny muggins.
Con-headed Ninny Muggins.
That doesn't help me. Even though you told me the name of the movie, that would not
Yeah.
help me.
It's Elf, by the way. Elf.
Wow, no James Caan. No, what's who's the lady who played Eminem's girlfriend in 8 Mile?
Brittany Murphy.
Yeah, no Brittany. The 3 biggest actors in that movie are James Caan, Will Ferrell, and Brittany Murphy. We're one of those characters.
Peter Dinklage? How many movies is he in?
That doesn't.
I didn't
help
even know
me.
he was in
I didn't
it.
know he was in it either.
Angry Elf.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That didn't help me.
Okay, here's this one. I don't know who's gonna get this one, but Alexis
Bledel.
Bledel, America
Oh, I know it.
Ferrera, Lucy Hale.
Lucy Hale was in that movie? Oh, if you would start with Lucy Hale, I don't know if I would have gotten this. Maybe it's is it I'm gonna go with the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Which one?
Oh, no, you already
Oh.
said it.
Yeah.
First two are in all of them.
Oh, they're in all of them.
The
Oh,
first
okay.
two.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that. Do I get to say which one?
Say one.
Well, I'm gonna
which
say
one.
the second one now, but I would have said the second one to begin with because I didn't think the Lucy Hale was in the first one.
She's the sister of one of them.
Oh, Sisterhood of Traveling, sucky movie. Okay. Alan Arkin, Terry Crews, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray and Terry Crews in a movie together. Huh. Well, that's gonna be interesting because I have no clue. Terry Crews and Bill Murray.
Yeah, baby.
Could it be St. Vincent?
Well, you already just guessed the movie. You didn't even ask the hint. Well, you're wrong.
Hmm.
You should ask for the freaking hint. It's Get Smart.
Get Smart.
I
Wow.
was gonna say Anne Hathaway at the part two.
What happened to giving like some of the major actors in these?
This was in the hint. I thought you were gonna ask for a hint.
I want the hint after if I can't get it. I want to try. I'm trying to get these movies. I don't want the hints
Okay.
if I don't need the hints.
Well, clearly you needed the hint.
Well, I feel like if I got Steve Carell, The Rock, or Anne Hathaway, I would have gotten the movie. One of the three major actors in it.
We agreed no major actors.
Yeah.
No, we
okay.
definitely didn't agree on that, but okay.
This one has major actors. Okay. Kerry Washington, Samuel L. Jackson, Don Johnson.
Oh, well. On the first two, I would have said Django Unchained, but I don't think Don Johnson was in that movie. I'll have to go with that Django, but I don't think so.
Well, you got it. Django Unchained, 2012.
Okay.
Leonardo
Play
DiCaprio.
the traveling dentist.
No, the traveling
Jamie.
dentist was played by Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, it was Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, it's Christoph
He
Waltz.
was on the reserve, Don Johnson.
Yeah, but he's on. You're supposed to go. The way it's set up is it's supposed to get easier and easier on the clues. The last actor should be the major
You
actor.
got hints on every single one. As for the hints.
I don't want the hints. The hints are cheating. I want to get him without the hints.
Okay. This one you should know. Wayne Knight, Samuel L. Jackson, Laura Dern.
Oh my. Wow. Okay. Well, it's my favorite movie of all time, so if I didn't get it, I'd be pretty upset. Dennis Nedry is played by or Wayne Knight, and Laura Dern obviously plays Ellie Sattler. And who does Samuel L. Jackson play? Ray Arnold in Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh. So, Mark Ruffalo, Ben Kingsley, Max von Sydow. Sydow? I don't know.
Mark Ruffalo, Ben Kingsley in a movie together. I don't know the last actor, so that's not going to help me at all. Mark Ruffalo and Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley, what has he been in? Not Schindler's. Can't be. I can't see it being Gandhi. It's way too old. Could be the House. What's the House movie with Jennifer Connelly? Could it be that? Ben Kingsley in a movie. Was Mark Ruffalo in Iron Man 3 at all? No, I can't do that. That'd be stupid. There's no way he was in Iron Man 3. I don't know.
Would you like a hint?
Sure.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, Shutter Island.
There you go. It's a half.
No, it's wrong. I didn't get it.
Okay.
The hints are you're wrong with the hints. I just wanted hints to.
Hints are for the audience.
Okay. Louise Fletcher, Danny DeVito, Will Sampson.
I only know Louise Fletcher in one movie, but she's the main character, so I don't think I'd be right. Well, second main character. I'm gonna go One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah. How'd you know that?
Because Louise Fletcher.
I never even heard of that movie.
She's Nurse Ratched.
Okay. And John Hamm, Michael Keaton, Sandra Bullock.
Michael Keaton and Sandra Bullock in a movie together.
Think outside the box.
It's animation.
That doesn't help me. Where the animation was not part of this. Sandra Bullock and I don't know what. Oh, Minions.
Oh. Oh, you counted it. Hey, you can't count it because you don't count animation.
All right, as long as we're not counting the other animation, I'm fine with it. Go ahead.
Okay. Good. You little punk.
To those keeping score, I have 8 right and 6 wrong, and 2 animations that we're not counting.
Vincent Price, Phyllis Kirk, Charles Buczynski.
Well, I know Vincent Price, but I don't know the other two. So let's go with a Vincent Price movie. I'm going to go Pirates of the Caribbean.
And you're going to be wrong.
Give him the hint.
What was it?
Paris Hilton was in the remake.
Oh, it's the House of Wax.
Yeah.
Again, if you gave me a main character, I would have been easy to get it. But
I
okay.
did give you a main character, Vincent Price.
Yeah, that's the first character you gave me. The main character is supposed to be the third character, so I don't know what
You're just making excuses because you're an idiot.
Go ahead.
Bill Duke, Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura.
This is was on both of our lists for top 10 monster movies. It's one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, The Predator.
You are correct. Okay. Paul Dano, Bryan Cranston, Alan Arkin.
Alan Arkin and Bryan Cranston. Huh. Paul Dano. Who do I know him from? He was in that stupid movie with Daniel Radcliffe. Were they in Godzilla? I doubt it. Not why him. Who was the last one you said?
Alan Arkin.
I'm going to go with Argo.
No. It is Little Miss Sunshine. 2006.
Never seen it.
Okay. All right, I'm going to do Kevin Connolly, James Garner, and I'm switching it up here. I'm going to say...
You don't need to switch it up.
Okay, finally. Fine, it's going to be Jenna Rollins.
It is your favorite Nick Sparks movie, The Notebook.
Wow. This guy was confident, eh? He knew. I didn't know if he'd know or not.
James Gardner.
Okay.
Giveaway.
All right, we got bonuses. So we have Gert.
10 and 8. No, not bad. The 2 bonuses, if they're not animated, they won't count as bonuses. They'll count to make up the 20.
They're not animated.
They're not. So we got Gert Frobe, Honar Blackman, Harold Cicada.
I don't know any of those, so I'm going wrong on this.
Give him the clues.
Pussy Galore.
Oh, come
Odd Job.
Why didn't you give me one of those
007.
characters?
They're not actors.
Tagline: Everything he touches turns to
It's
excitement.
Goldfinger. I knew that Pussy Galore. Like if I only got one, why couldn't I get the actor Pussy Galore or a Goldfinger?
Gert Frobe is Goldfinger.
It-
Harold Sakata is Oddball.
Yeah, no, I don't know
Anya
Oddball.
Blackman
No,
is
I'll
Pussy
pass.
Galore.
Oh, he did. Oh.
Fair enough, but I did not know. I didn't know any of those actors. Continue.
Okay. Amanda Seyfried, or I don't know how to say Helena
Seyfried, you're right.
Seyfried, Helena Bonham Carter, and Eddie Redmayne.
That's a good way to end it with another musical on Les Mis.
No, it's called Les Miserables.
It's Le, not Les. The S is
Les
silent.
Miserables. So you're wrong. So you get half a point.
Yeah, no. 11 right, 9 wrong. So just over 50%.
Yeah, lucky.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for us this week. Join us next week when we talk about Annabelle yesterday, and we give you our bottom 10 casting choices. I feel like you're going to see a lot of our bottom favorite movies on this list.
Yeah. No, you probably would.
All right. Have a good day, guys. We'll see you next week.
Actually.
Yeah,
See you next week.
See you next week.